Just when you ain't know, the children crying for salvation, just don't just fall. I tell you, for the very best, Radio has to offer all the information you need to know. You want to get educated, you want to get entertained. Everything happens on Spoon Talk. Good evening to you, my people, wherever you are. Whichever country, continent, province, town, village. Welcome to Spoon Talk. Today is the 19th day of December 2025. Just 5 more days and a few more hours before we say Merry Christmas. And so let me say good evening to you, my people. Welcome to Spoon Talk, your very and most tuned to program. We are live on Spoon 107.5 FM. We are live on Fabric 101.1. We are live on Super 95.5. We are also live across Liberia on different radio stations. We are live on Voice FM. We are live on Spoon TV, on Facebook, Fabric TV, Super TV, and of course, Spoon Talk on YouTube. So if you are there, we are here. We'd like to welcome you to Spoon Talk. Yo, long awaited. All day you are sitting and waiting to get this show. We are on now. Yes, so we welcome you, all of you viewing via the internet. Even if you are listening to the radio, your smartphone to listen to the radio, just take your button phone, 107.5, 101.1, or 95.5. And so very soon we're going to have the host on your show, the panelists as they come to bring in the views, arguments, breaking it into pieces, making sure you process it and accept it as they analyze breaking events and developments of our Liberia. You also have something on your mind you want to talk about. What is it? Is it the president's speech today? Is it same protest on Wednesday? What is that thing that you want to talk about, Mama Liberia? Our president, His Excellency President Joseph Newman Boaka Sr. was speaking to he spoke to the nation today. And there are things that you wanted to hear that you heard. There were things that you weren't satisfied with at the same time. Well, you have concerns. We also open the lines and make sure you put your calls through as we bring you bits and pieces of information on polling in Mama Liberia, the rest of the world, surrounding countries, Mana River Union. Yeah, everything happens right here on Spoon Talk. My name is Lorena Honoree. I am your producer. This Friday and every Friday. So let me welcome you, all our drivers driving. We urge you to take your time and drive safely. Save those precious lives, including yours. Stay better, reach in peace, stay in pieces. So please take your time. The traffic is tense. I know at the same time as the bridge is being constructed and at work. So be careful. There are trucks parked alongside the road. We just passed some of those motorcyclists. I misbehaving some of them. Going to the no-go zone. So a lot of crazy things are out there in the streets. So I urge you to take your time, get home safely. Even if you are not home, you need to be home. I would say please go home. Stop being out in the streets when you shouldn't be there. The one thing I know you need to do is just listen to Spoon Talk right now. Listen to everything that happened in the course of the week. Yesterday, today, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Even if it will happen tomorrow, it breaks right here on Spoon Talk. So let me welcome you again. Please invite your friends, share the show, send it to all the people that you know here in Liberia, Australia, Guyana, everywhere. You want to get a news on and all of those to the border points, Ivory Coast, Guinea, Sierra Leone. You want to know what is happening. The fact that you are listening to 107.5, we are all over. We welcome you. This is the show that talks about Liberia and everything that is happening in Liberia. So we welcome you. Very soon, all the guys are going to come up. They're going to come on and make sure to talk to you. I know you have your own favorite host and one of the panelists. Anything they say you like it. Everybody we can talk, and we're going to open the lines for you to talk your own as well. From Spoon Studio, I say compliments of the season.
You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, Tuto Spoon. Yeah, Tuto Spoon. You want to get a news update, Tuto Spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got? TV. Yes, what you got? Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon Entertainment.
So, before we get into bringing you different stories that happened within the course of the week or today or yesterday, again, let me say welcome to you, my people. This is your show, The People's Show, The People's Network. We are live on Spoon TV, we are live on Fabric TV, we are live on Super TV, or on Facebook. Go to YouTube and subscribe to this channel. It is Spoon Talk. Yeah. Get there and let's talk to you. Anything that is happening in Liberia, once we go live in any corner of our streets, you can catch us. Hit the notification button. I will always tell you and remind you, just so you get every breaking event that is unfolding or going to be unfolding on Spoon TV Live, Fabric TV Live, or Super TV. So again, let me welcome you. Now I'm opening the lines for you to call us and tell us what is on your mind. What is that thing that you want to talk about? What is that issue that is in your head that has been, troubling you? You say, me, I just waiting for Spoon Talk to come so I can talk about it. Whatever it is, let me welcome you. This is your program, Spoon Talk. Again, you are welcome. Let's start with you. Good evening, 0777-771075, 0555101075. Good evening. Okay, 0777-771075, 0555101075. If you are there, we are here. Want to make sure your voices are heard. So please call us and be a part of the program. Let's talk to you first. Good evening.
Hello?
You're live on the show, sir. What is your name? Where are you calling us
Good evening to Spoon FM family, and good evening to my peace people of the Republic of Liberia, and good evening to you, Justice Lorena Honore in studio in Liberia. The need remain constant at Fangso AF Command once again tonight, the beautiful Friday evening. Says Lorena Honore, I had two burning issues in my mind tonight to speak
Please
about.
Please be fast, sir.
First, I will speak with you randomly in my time frame. First,
1 minute.
I have to say the Oriental agreement was signed by our House of Elders is a bogus and consensual agreement that has effect very greatly on our nation, and Liberian people have no impact and nothing that will benefit for it. Only can all back up. But this way was just saying, I put that to rest. Let me strictly speak on the issue. And the president spoke today, and those spokes that he made, he spoke on the trickle-down effects. We agree. The trickle-down effect in the communities of our country is in place, but the economy is broken down. Like when people are not earning ordinary meals, how can they afford? You talk about the rice prices, the gasoline, and all that stuff. We agree. The trickle-down effect is glaring, but it's not taking effect because there's no economy. The economy is broken down. There's no money. So, President Brockett, you have to work. You are your government, your lieutenants, your allies, your allies. Almost 3 years, we are coming to enter in. So, more history with Joshua. All of the bad laws, you spoke against it, the bad governances, you spoke against it in Mexico over the past few years ago, back to the day. Today, you have repeatedly continued to carry on more seamlessly over beyond utmost surprise. So, we are not the material that Brempo were expecting, the way they presented you as Messiah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Who understand for the 2 year extension.
All right, let's take another caller. 0777-1075, 0555-101075. He always has a lot to say, but this is what we do. We provide a platform. Come and talk your own. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Welcome to Spoon Talk.
Yeah, thank you. This is Emon from Dwazon.
It must be audible now, please.
Yeah, I'm calling from Dwazon. Emon.
Okay, Amos, what's on your mind?
Thank you. Out of my mind is that we this country is nowhere, like it's living. And now those who that they call themselves citizens for this country that they supposed to party like who don't want for our country to be.
Amos, you know what? You have to please change your location and call again, okay? Change your location and call again, all right? The line is really bad. Hello? All right, please. Amos, I'm sorry. I can't get you. Good evening.
No, good evening.
Yes, you're live on the show, sir. What is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Compliment of the season.
I wish you the same. Chief.
My name is Sekou Fofana, member of Unity Body Intellectual Bureau. I invite don't comment the evening.
Sekou,
let me tell President Bwaka, I listened to him today.
Mhm.
But I want to say the president will beg my president, I want to appeal to him. The executive order he put on the local robot tap on, let it take it from the people. Because the I listened to it today, someone placed a question to him, he answered a question, he said, let them make it 500 years. So nobody can compete with the people. What he will do, he will set up a committee to regulate the price of food. No, Mr. President, I beg you, do that because market and competition, right? First thing, not just let them make it 100 years, but the one what they get from us, the more than what we get from them. So if you have your own your own people in the industry, so you can empower the people. So at least, President Bwaka, I beg you, really rethink you take the ban for all the people. The people they're not making nothing because now the rubber, the fire spoon and the chetty buy for small money for the people and the people are losing.
Okay,
So that bank they 1 for 1 order I beg you. Take it for let the people be exported all import the people like they get machine to process it again. So thank you for having me all right,
You are welcome, sir. Compliments of the season. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, you're live on the show. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Princess calling from the Unity Party International Bureau.
Okay, Princess, welcome to the show.
Yes, I got two things on my mind.
Quickly to the
Number
point,
one.
please. Yep.
Number one, my attention is drawn to the PUL.
Mm-hmm.
The PUL is not fair in analysis because there are some people, they got radio station, and he are sure he can listen to them. He's starting violence in the country, and I'm sure he knows them.
You mean a
But he
PUL
can't-
president?
The PUL president, they talk with respect to the PUL president.
Okay.
The PUL president got some of his people, and they got radio station, they sit on the radio station and start violence in this country. They even tell the people that when they see other people, they should get even with them, they should fight them. And I'm sure the PUL is aware about it. Number two, I want to tell President Bwaka, thank you for his speech today. But we are appealing to the president, President Bwaka, please, for the local farmers, those that are doing the rubber business. Papa will beg you. The ban you put on them will beg you. Please take the ban from on them. Because the rubber, they are not getting anything in the rubber. And now you put the ban on them, they will not be able to do anything. So we are just begging you, Papa, please, to lift up the ban that you put on them. We're begging you, President Bwaka, because these people, they are all like demons too. And when they sit down, it will not be easy. That kind of thing can bring our in this country. So we're just begging you, Papa, please. We're begging you, President Bwaka. Yes. Thank you.
All right. You know, I like to hear females sharing their own views. You know, be concerned about your country. What is happening? Good evening.
How are you, Mama?
I'm okay, sir. What is your name? Where do you call us from?
Man, President Bwaka question, President Bwaka speaking. a member of United Party Intellectual Bureau Control Committee, but according to Dwala. Madam, the only thing that on my mind that nursing college, Yekezi and Damo. Nursing college listen to me, Nana, like the town so prepare for a college. Yekezi, after the show, but I can get you. Damo, I know after being on this made a fan, that's full agriculture break. The fan like play with central kind of people agriculture break because representing don't get agriculture fan here. Please. Man, but I know my business way inside that you will give a message because if one thing they listen to the show, and the second thing, I tell God thank you and I tell the press secretary Madam Kwafufana thank you also like advocating life going as far as Bunosha beyond a corner. They're really she's doing well. I want for you can say comment me. That's only advocating there. They're really the press secretary now but she's very late. They left out of Province. They didn't want for comment to go afar lofa. So she advocating. No. Madam, if that law can't go to Kubunusa, you still level planning there.
Thank you.
You don't need to pray for the woman. Madam, let God bless you. Let God guide you. Let God protect you. Let God bless our country. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, 077771075, 05551010075. Call us. Let's hear what is on your mind. Good evening.
Hello.
You're live on the show, sir. What is your name?
Yeah. My name is Emma Hammer, a calling with Cox City this evening.
Mr. Hammer, what's on your mind?
Well, what is on my mind? I want to appreciate President Joseph Nima Parker for his elaboration today to meet other protection challenge. And my major thing on my mind has to do with the structure that is invested in FOIA, and he breaks started that yes, indeed, our structure is not a personal thing, but for the MRO it's as a peace storm. I say thank to him because other people took our resources and paid their own personal property. But today, they are investing in property for the government of Liberia. And the President Walker, thank you. But my major concern has to do with young people. You have the opportunity, young people having power to have job opportunity. Today, you see most of the young people are in the ghetto. We're trying to use them to do other things and not start them out to our left. So President Walker, he told to the state, please look at the young people. I want to carry food to the burial home. Thank you so much. You give me the platform.
You are welcome. 077771075, 05551010075. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the show. What is your name? Where are you calling us from, sir?
Thank you so much for the show tonight, my dear sister. I'm Richard Barish. I'll call you from JJY resident this evening.
Okay.
My sister, on a serious note, I have a problem with the entire Spoon family right now.
What did you?
Why I say that is Stanton Waterspoon, who helped yesterday to dress the devil. Today he sees the devil dancing in the middle of the street and he begins to disgrace the devil, which I see to be very, very bad. This old man, Joseph Nima Parker, is doing so many good for this country. But Stanton does not want to know some of the good things the government is doing, especially Joseph Boakai. He will sit on the radio station and allow propagandists to blackmail him, and he'll come on the radio station to be shouting and saying things that are not visible in Liberia. So I want to urge my sister, please, Mr. Stanton, we love you, we have been admiring you. Currently, you are transcending yourself against Joseph Nima Parker and the effort of this papi. It's hurting some of us that we follow you yesterday to make Joseph Parker a president. If you continue on this trend, Mr. Stanton, I don't think we'll have to heal you that we used to hear you before. Joseph Parker is actually doing this country. He's transforming this country. Things are hard, we agree, but things will not always be bread and butter in life. I don't even know about heaven, but things will always not be bread and butter on earth. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. 077771075. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
You're live on the show.
I'm Willie Brown and I call from Injaw. Yeah, Martin George side.
Willie Brown, what's on your mind?
What on my mind tonight is concerning the president's speech he gave at one time.
Okay.
To his interview. Concerning about the Villa built in FOIA County.
All right.
You know, if you look at the whole issue, first is conflict of interest. Looking at the place that the president this particular project is undertaking, and then looking at what they are saying, talking about is Mano River Union project. When this project had a groundbreaking ceremony, we understand everything in MRU is published on the MRU website. It's not there. When we ask our colleagues to tell us where are some of the tangibles, where are some of the things that you see that this particular project is for the Liberian government. How, you and myself, just listen to what the president said. This project is already to completion, right? Then he's saying that it will be for MRU. So tell me, where are we here? The president contradicted himself. In fact, the entire government is contradicting themselves on the particular issues. We voted this particular government to give a change. They shouldn't be passing around and telling us things that we don't want to understand.
Thank you.
Liberia, every day, foreigner will continue to lie about us. This thing is bad.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, let's take you, this person, since you are. Good evening. Good evening. Well, I'm sorry, we can't get you. Let's take another caller. Please call us back. Good evening.
Yes, how you doing this evening?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm urging these people calling and sing like you love like and do like you.
Is that a community?
Yeah, Insumo Village is organization.
Okay.
Insumo Village.
All right. So what's on your mind now you want to talk about?
Yeah. I want to commend the president for that great speech.
Okay.
That interaction in the will we the Liberian. You know, the president who love this country, who won't listen to the Liberian people cry. I want to be a PO, the state radio. Salute to my president. Sing like one love Liberian do that, but thank you there.
You are welcome. 077771075 055101075. Good evening.
Good evening.
What is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Thank you. My name is Ambrose Agbangi. I'm calling from Dukuru.
All right, Ambrose. What's on your mind?
You know, people are saying, oh, you hate Philistine. No, it's not an issue. The issue is this. I want to know what the central is. Actually, we are living here. The country better than this. The puppet trying. You know, 100%. For me, let me tell you what I had against. But when I got deeper in the politics, I said, okay, why he took off on that cover? And the only thing me ambush to money against the puppet. But as far as infrastructure, as far as the arrest agenda, everything is all cost.
Thank you.
The point against the country not high again.
Okay.
So I want to spend on the dollars. Which side you on? Sometimes you listen to the show, but if you listen to God, you turn the radio off.
All right. So, okay.
You are man. You don't be a pussy. Sorry.
Thank you, yeah, for being on the show. All right. So we'll take more callers. Let's take you. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay. Tell me your name, where you calling from?
This is Alfonso from TV.
Alfonso, why are you so low?
Yeah, just realizing I was like monitoring the president today on my phone, but I was in a noisy area. But what I got from him, he said the project in Lupa is a Mano River Union project. But he said if he were to tell him first, he was to refuse it.
Okay.
So why is it that after he got to know that the project he was not informed for, and later he got to know, what did he do to the people that will not take the project? And the project he said is a Mano River Union project in your country. Then you know where the project takes place. What more AB? Okay.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's get to this other line. Good evening.
Good evening, Sales Lavina.
You're live on the show, sir.
I'm up listening to you.
I wish you the same.
Thank you very much. Good evening to all of my colleagues and friends. My name is Mohammed M. Kanen Chion. I am a resident of District number 16 and I speak in the Project Island area. Lavina, my concern will be drawn to the attention to that. I listened to President Parker. He spoke on, or got someone put a question to him today pertaining to the small business people. the local farmers. I think the president needs to look in at best to see how best for him to lift up the ban on the local farmers. More precise, because their business, the business that they are doing, it affects them. If it comes to the issue of selling their products, they are not benefiting from it. And he scratched on a lot of good things pertaining to the local farmers' situation, more on those that produce for the lower.
Okay.
So, like you said, he want to see most of them benefiting from their business that they are doing. So, we believe in ourselves that the way in which we're making the call on the platform a lot of times, and most often on other platforms, President Parker will listen up because that's why someone question this morning and try to address the situation very well this morning. So we're still calling on him to see our best. Let him try to lift all the ban on the people to see our best for the people to be able to even sell their products so they'll be able to benefit themselves. Thank you very much.
All right. 0777-771-075. Different things happened across Liberia. You know, I'm hearing everybody talking about it. Anyway, that's the breaking story for today, the president's speech. But people were just complaining yesterday, even on our morning show, you know, about the stand protest, about people getting hurt, someone getting attacked. At the same time, it is people blaming the police for arresting some people. Some of them claim to be innocent. Some people say we're going to buy our market. But then you were seen as protester, and if you were being violent, at the same time you got arrested. And there were some persons who were persons of interest, and you know, all of those things Liberians were discussing it across quarters in the country. Any corner you pass, and once it happened in the country that day, you know, you hear Liberians talk about it. The thing about us in Liberia, it amazes me, the fact that we start a conversation, something we'll talk about it maybe in the next 2-3 days, 7 days highest. We're done with it. Today we are talking about the president's speech. All right, the president's address to the nation. But it's a good thing, you know, as a Liberian or even a resident in the country, to be concerned about what is happening in your environment, and that is your country, that this is where you live. Please share the show, and all of those that are commenting, we welcome you. We'll say, we'll greet you, some of you, and you know, we'll call your names and welcome you to the show. Please share the show. Hello. Good evening. You're live on the show. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Aliyu Kamara calling for this 15.
Aliyu Kamara, what do you want to talk about?
I want to tell the president, thank you for the good speech today he gave it to us. As a Liberian, we celebrate with the president work. Those that don't celebrate, you know, everybody can be one place. Even the God that created us, he created the heaven and the earth, he put all your feet up. Not everybody celebrate with him. So, former president, we are all there. Not everybody was celebrate with him. But we see the one that you're doing, they putting Liberia on the map. The only problem I get with my CEO, all used to listen to Brother Spoon. But the way he packed the sedition on that show, we should make way that other party people won't eat there to represent their party and the government.
You listen to the show all the time, right?
Yeah, I listen to the show. But Akala Gray, he always say something on the show that always what else we can tell you directly, but he will not agree. He will not agree.
But on the show, they say you told your own, I told my own. You know that one, right?
Yeah, I agree.
The platform is open.
Yeah, my sister, the country is for all of all. One is the betterment of the country. But if you get in the negative part of the country, do you think that our children are coming out, Charlie will be like tomorrow?
Okay.
So we have to put it in order. Even you don't like the president, you don't like the person, but don't hate the country.
Okay.
Don't hate the country. You're not put together so Liberia can be like Europe. Like other people today, they want to play DV to go to America. Like America suffer before they be what they are today.
Thank you.
Not everything can be bread and butter. No. That is one of the colors just said. We listen in the country. You want to tell me, say, all the world brought in Monrovia, we pack all here. Nobody want to go in the bush. So look at the forest, look at the bush. People fighting for land in Monrovia. But the land is just going all the way from kind of way. Nobody get out to go Bay House there. Everybody want to choke all here. They're going to go every day for land, baby. Do you think like how Liberia are looking before? No. We have got to think positive of the country for our children. Some are getting old. So I tell Liberia we should get together to appreciate When the government come, Bakai will go. Another person will come. What Bakai will do, that person will not think on it, will think about different development to bring it. But you want to hear a good thing about Bakai doing it. You have to do it. Do you think that if we roaming like that in the zero amount system, you go around looking down here, can't Bravo town, can't see our living places, can't see hey. So if the government can start putting the tree, the tree that they put on looking down road, yeah, we are not there. You think when if God said we have a country and I will think about putting level here again. Whoa, that's different thing you're thinking about.
Okay.
So I just want we all to come to CDC, Blue or where we are not that we are all.
Find out what happening on Spontor now. Everybody coming together.
All of them come together to
Thank
see
you.
how best we can move forward. We shouldn't matter politicians.
All right, sir.
We got money to already reach.
Thank you. You have said enough. Let's take other callers. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, you're live on the show, sir.
Calling from Banana Better Community.
Okay. To the point, please.
Yes, I want to say thanks to the president ever so much for getting the right thing on board. About this time in 2019, people were standing on line in long queue to get gasoline. About this time in 2019, they're standing over things to get rice. People had the money, but their affordability was not around. You couldn't afford to buy rice. People were buying rice for $1,000. And today, for heaven's sake, less than 2 years, we can buy rice $2,600, $2,500. Gasoline now is being sold for $6.50 some places, some places $6.60. And people are saying now that this government is not doing it. People couldn't plow from here to Maryland. But now, under this administration, under the astute leadership of President Joseph Newman Boakai, people can leave from Maryland at any point in time that they want to come to Monrovia, they will come. People will leave from Grand Gita at any point in time they want to come to see Monrovia, they will come. Unless that's time, it will take a month, a week to even get there. People had the mind to come to town. Even people wanted to go to the interior to visit their family. But what means do they have at the time? There were no means. The roads were not pliable. And today, you come to see a man who told you, say, try me, and you will see the difference. And today, we can test to it. We are a testimony of his work.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think he's doing his best. So we must applaud and stand by him.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, you're live on the show. What is your name, sir? Where are you calling us from?
Thank you so much, my sister, for the properly and final grade member of the Intellectual Bureau of the ruling party. My sister, you know, my attention will bring you to two things.
Okay. Quickly, please.
The first one, I'm begging the president for him to drop the executive order from on the local business people who have to do with those who get the rural business they are doing. They are begging him. This government is our government. We kept it for them. We voted for them. We are still in the country, and we believe Mr. Boakai going to go for 12 years. Nobody can tell you 12 years. The second point, my sister, you know, everywhere it's not easy. It's not only that we're alone. We got people, even in the great America today, it's not easy. It's not easy. Everything will not be bread and butter every time. So we are supporting the government. We are going on so many constraints. We're not joking, but there's already is trying his possible best for this nation. Look,
thank you.
We're going to give the country to Mr. Boakai 2017, but now the bureau has we go far. But we make the mistake, we get the country to a full players who don't know anything about politics of development. Everything it was, I will say. When the men do hand pump, they went in, thank you. Today they are angry because they are not receiving money on mobile to do what they are doing, or they are not selling kush in the community. So thank you so much, my sister, President Porter. 12 years. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take more calls. While we take calls, we look at some of the breaking developments. Today is the 19th day of December. If you are there, we welcome you to This is the Spoon Talk. Let's appreciate some of our viewers and commenters. Yeah, we also want to ask you to please share the program. Judith Sano 801. Tapo, Speaker Dempster, Eric Aloysius Canyon, Benjamin Dote, always watching Ola Trap Kenny. Daniel Tente is watching. G. Harrison Diala is watching. Kona Kuma is watching. Former Sambi Sese is also watching. Daniel Zito Soma, Ben Kamara, King Will Teman. Okay, he's watching. Emmett Hammond. Christiana G.C. Masakwe is also watching. Jerry Getaway. Melvin Nathaniel Roosevelt, welcome you. Hawame to Time. Comfort David is also watching. Emmett Hammond is watching. Sam Pupo is watching. Comfort David, you are still there. Jerry Lo Potosa. Welcome. Daniel Tente, you are still there. James Boaka, Yvette Sifas, and Gerard 5731. King Will Teman, you are still there. We appreciate you. J. Africano Nameland, Pius Solo Tilo. Peter Tokba, Momo Family is also watching. Pius Solo Tilo. James Favor Vani, Alahaga Escamara, Gaseni Oto, Amara A. Fofana, Fliax, Singbe, Ambassador J. Dakukai Saul, Perry Horace is also watching. Mercy John J. Seyuga is watching. James Vupawo is watching. Emmanuel Faya is watching. Aloysius Wotwa is watching. Selehu VS, that's V5 Summer or VS Summer. Chris Diafe Tokba is watching. Alexander Semi is watching. And of course, we have Alfred Young, Abeningo Demand, Matthew Weir Jr. is also watching. Doma Cates is watching. And we also have Malima Musata Richard also watching. And Norris Vaman, we appreciate you. Thank you for being there. Martha Cully, we welcome you. Please share the show with your friends and your family members. Lucas Godwin Plazo is also watching. Let's take more calls. Good evening.
Good evening.
So you live on the show. Yeah, what is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Oh, this is Lucky J calling from Ghana.
What's on your mind?
To be frank, Lady Lorraine, let us set the record straight. Spoon FM is not an opposition station.
Okay.
They don't know Stenton. Stenton is there for the Liberian people.
Right.
That's why it's accurate, balanced, most critical, but very, very credible. And furthermore, that's the reason why we have all other members from different political parties on the station. You say your own, you say your own, we say our own, and then the judgment is left with the citizens. So in this light, I say, we wish to Amir response talk. We wish to Amir response talk. We wish to Amir response talk. And the cross respond New Year.
Amen. All right. Thank you, yeah. Well, make sure you go to the studio. I tell you, to make a Christmas song for Spawn. I tell you, Liberia UP supporters urges Boaka to hold town hall. Says presidency risks losing touch with ordinary Liberians. Yeah, the UPs are saying President Joseph Newman Boaka, chief, would beckon you, Pape, be holding town hall meetings so the ordinary people can interact with you. All right. Good evening.
Yeah, Lorena.
I'm okay, sir. What is your name? Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from rescue zero.
So what's on your mind?
What is on my mind? Even though I'm not listening to the president's speech because I was working, but without doing the labor job, we were feeding to the president. They let it talk only. SEO to only for I didn't care or salary or small them.
What kind of labor job did they hire?
Contractor.
The one you can go.
Oh, contractor.
Like the ones that you can go be blocks or horsemen, those kind of thing, or off low container?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, working with some company name. So I tell you, thank you, man. And the Christmas, tell you.
What you want to see to talk about now about the labor job here?
Yeah, that is salary, man. The salary low.
Yeah, but say the thing, the salary is small, eh?
Yeah. I can't hear you send a comment and I can't hear you talking about the labor. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm tell you, them the Christmas come you let me rest because then when it's come
right? But you
yeah.
working, you want to see you to step by you rice?
Yeah, mama, so yeah, like the children eat, mama. I want rest.
Thank you for
being doing well. And I want to what other still becoming because one for the print teacher.
All right, I'll let you know.
Yeah, to go work on the airport.
Okay.
Yeah, they tell.
Okay. Thank you for being on the show.
Okay, man.
077771015 Again, we welcome all of our online viewers. They call them netizens. The netizens are there, you know, the citizens of the internet. They are there, and they are also in-laws of Spoon. Yeah. So that is the reason why we know they will always share the program. They will invite everybody. We will call the Oman, you know, in the villages and the towns. They say, Oman, can I sit down? Oh, yeah. Oh. The people coming to the team, and you know, so Oman again they can sit down. So we say we thank you, we like you, we appreciate you, we love you. This is your station. We like the fact that you are there and you always share the show. All right. So I already see Chief the Bapolubo Amula Mame. Already see that. Okay. We welcome you, Chief. Can hear you, sir.
Let me.
You come back. Okay. 077771075. 055101075. Take this caller. Let your voice be heard. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Welcome, oh. Compliments of the season. What's on your mind?
Yeah. I wish you the same. Good evening to our listener. This is Lawson Pan, and I'm the PRO for the Intellectual Bureau of the United Party.
Okay.
From the 2 days evening in Mosolaro.
All right.
Today, when the president appeared today on the ERBC, I was second to the last caller.
Okay.
There's a point that I raised concerning the local rubber mall in Liberia. The executive raised issue is executive order number 151. That placed a ban on the exportation of unprocessed rubber from Liberia here. My sister, just put in your shoe now. You get a 5 acre or 10 acre land of rubber. Will you get machine to process that rubber? If we get to America? No, but the people can do it. The team can do it because they have a sophistication. So the local men now will be forced now to say even on payment plan, when it costs. At the end of the day, the local men will be discouraged to even make fine again. And they find making business that share employment. And the agricultural thing is one of the people on the personal agenda. So when they continue, we don't say that the people will compete with the fire or the CEO. But then the president create avenue and live for the balance more and review it. It's not good for the local people. Because when I asked him today, he said the people should not compete with the elite people. Or you create avenue for them. In the meantime, what create avenue for them? For the time the president will beg you.
Thank you.
It's not good for our people.
Thank you very much.
It's not good for our people. Please live for the balance for the people here.
All right.
So that our people will be able to at least tell them they rubber and forget about government job in it.
Thank you.
Take it for the time.
All right. Mr. Mame, welcome. I mean, some of the callers have been appealing on this rubber ban. Yeah, presidency. As he said it in his speech today. So welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Lorena. It's good to be back. Today's show is expected to be the same way it has always been. Good conversation. We will open the lines. People will give their views. And then when the other panelists come on, we'll go into the discussion. A lot of things happening. I was reading in the chat room, people say they got new documents coming about the property in Foya. I mean, they're ready to show those documents. One thing that remains constant is a government property, but all the different stories around how it was acquired, who is building it, I think continue to be the discussion around that. Noka launched or dedicated a new office today, thanks to Fabian and the team. Safwa envisioned that. She initiated that process. There's also one constant fact that it is Safwa who initiated that process, but all these particles around it, how payments were made, how contracts were signed, payments, contracts signed today, payment made today over 50%. The election was conducted. President Mbaka was announced. After he was announced, when they amended the contract, and all these particles around it. But what remained constant also, like in the case of the Foya project, is it was initiated by Safwa, and Fabian and his team did an excellent job to complete it in the manner and form they did. So we talk about the Samuel Tuer case, right? We talk about the Samuel Tuer case. The Supreme Court ruled and say he should go for prosecution. I mean, others are arguing that the finance minister is part of the Security Council. So we're expecting that Samuel Tuer will be taking the bit of information to the court and see whether the court will read and go through that bit of information. Also, we're still talking about the oil blacks. There are indications that people have informed the president that the 10-year given to Orento is in violation of the law. So there are conversations around whether the president will send the Orento bill back so that the lawmakers can adjust it to the 7 years so that it can be in conformity with the law. We are hearing things like that, and then we'll see how we can all have those conversations going on. But a lot more to come up. I just wanted to lay out some of the things, we're brainstorming around for discussion tonight. Fubi, you are welcome. What are you hearing?
Yeah, so good evening. I look forward to a good show today. I follow not much, but just few of the posts and maybe one or two audios about the president's statement today on EFBC with other media entities that were part of it. I think that was something good since everybody wanted to know. So the head of state now spoke. So at least I know the politics will be played as usual. So everybody will have their takeaway and run with what they want to run with. That's the normal thing. People will hear and interpret their own way. So whatever the case is, the politics will play and we'll all just follow. But I think that's something good that he did. So at least he needs to have those kind of press engagements regularly and speak on a wide range of issues so that at least you give the people some level of comfort. Because you can't be a leader and you shy away from talking to the people. You need to have a regular engagement. And the people power that got you there. So not talking to them is out of order. Address the national key issues. But I think that's something good. I saw your comment about the bill of information. I was asking, I said, who you going to file it to? Supreme Court, government and legate? Let them go face it. Let them go defend a crime. Because the issue of that whole stuff is not about whether Samuel Tuer on the Security Council or not. The presiding officer that presided when they made a decision to take the money, that's the wrong presiding officer. So you can even be on the Security Council, but if you have the wrong mandate to execute your study function, you can be nailed. So I don't see what kind of bill information they want to file. But there is now about two different parties that are fighting us out on issues that they need clarity. The Supreme Court said go to court and go do your stuff. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, you're talking about, engagement. The president said a lot of things. The president also gave, some hope. He talked about building football academy. I think it was in Bombing or Bond County. He spoke about that. He brought his vice president to the spotlight. He's a man, a businessman, smart businessman. I listen to him. I take advice from him and bringing him to the spotlight. We'll go into that more. How is that business acumen, right? How is that his understanding of the business climate? How is he helping to expand private sector activities in the country? How is he helping to boom business? How are business in itself, helping government? Because I mean, the president was not just talking off here, right? I'm sure there have been a couple of pieces of advice that the vice president provided to him, and probably came out to be true the way the vice president saw it. So, what can we feel from having a vice president who is a businessman and a business climate? What are those indicators to look at? He talked about the football academy. I know the people who like sport, like myself, getting excited about that. And then on the flip side, we turn to the Ministry of Finance. We saw the European Union signing additional support to Liberia, direct budget support, and then expressing commitment and confidence in the government. But Lorena, the last time I saw a picture with you and President Sirleaf, you were conducting interview with her, on the radio.
No, it was the opening of Lux FM.
Oh, at the University of Liberia.
Yeah. And so
you be around, I mean, having interviews.
I was a DJ then, but because I was popular, it was strange, for me to be in an interview because I was a DJ, and those who were, the talk show hosts and presenters into politics were also invited, and some of them were afraid. They were shy. They couldn't face the president. And even when we sat with the president at some people were still trembling. For me, my mouth been shut, so I was able to, interview the president. We sat with her. She was excited over the fact that students could talk to her. I was a student then, a freshman student. Yeah, so we talked about, the university, opening the dormitories again, and also increasing the professor salaries, and we were told that it was going to happen. And I'm sure some of them happened. Not much, but we don't have dormitories at the universities, yet. From what I gathered, when my parents were at the university, some of them were living on the campus of the university. Okay, so I was concerned about that. I wanted to know who moved there, and she promised that they were going to look into it. She wasn't promising everything. And she talked about a lot of good things, future for Liberia. President Sirleaf, she had a huge impact on the country. And she's the reason why most women wanted to go to school. That year, when I was at the university, when she became president, so many ladies, women left the market buildings and were coming to school. They started going to the university. It was really something that inspired a lot of them, coming to school. They went back to the marketplaces, but then they decided to go to school, and they were excited for the fact that women could be president. You understand? So, yeah. It was an honor to find myself talking to President Sirleaf that day. So, I became a celebrity overnight. The fact that I interviewed the president by that time. Yeah.
How does it feel? I mean, you saw President Sirleaf, you had an interview with her, you monitor her activities. She had a special show on, I think, on the radio, Talk with Ellen. Some way they used to call it with the two ladies, they were. Yeah. People would phone in at the time. We used to call and phone in and ask the president. And then you saw President Weah era, and then you see President Boubacar coming out. I mean, what value do you add to president having those type of engagement with the press?
Each president come with their own vibe, if I would say, the president, you will never understand. For President Sirleaf, she's a relaxed individual. You understand? You can sit with her. You people can lecture about Pepe Kala. You understand? She's staring at you straight in your eyes and she's smiling, but at the same time, she is not vulnerable. And you still have that fear that this is the president, but at the same time, you are relaxed. So it's a good engagement. And she engaged with the press. She was willing to engage with anybody. You saw President Sirleaf when people were having strikes or protests, especially the soldiers, fallen soldiers, women. She would come and sit with them. They would all sit on the floor, on the kotai, and have the conversation. She didn't shy away from protest. You understand? For President Weah, I sat with President Weah once when my daughter won the Miss Mana River Union, and we went to present the Queen to the president. That was when I sat with President Weah. I was here at Spoon, and there are journalists that covered President Weah. You understand his engagements and everything that he did. But for me, meeting him one-on-one, it happened when we went to present the Queen of Mano River Union, Goreti Atoka, then now Ruhana, to the president. And we sat with him, and he was relaxed. As you know, that for president, he's a homie, if I should say. I'm not going to refer to the president. Yeah, so, you know, he's another relaxed president that you can sit with. For President Bouaka, I moved around with Mankatumo last year, December, when she was having Christmas parties for the children. I'm always into human interest, the educational side, and the health sector, and, you know, the community reporting. I love it. So I moved with her from one school to another, from morning to night, and she was having party and chilling with the children when she comes on. And then the president had to come out to, you know, support his wife. And at the same time, she did some, you know, renovations and, you know, built some centers at different hospitals, the maternity centers and all of those things are also moved with her too. So yeah, I love the fact that I will hope that the presidents will always engage with the press, because that's how you come out to talk to the people. Now there are people out there even asking President Bouaka to have Palava Hall meetings, you understand, so that he can engage with the common people, because the common people are saying some of them are complaining that they don't have access to the president. So Liberians are calling on the president. Some UPists are saying that the president should be able to engage with people under the Palava Hall. They're the Oman, the Pape, the, you know, common men, as we refer to them, come out to be able to talk to the president, because they themselves want to have access to the president. They have things they want to say to the president. They want to hear from the president. They're listening to the radio now. They listened to the radio earlier, but most of them are not satisfied. They want to have one-on-one engagement with the president. So we are hoping that in 2026, President Joseph Numa Bouaka can look into that and, you know, having community engagements. These are not things that some of our district representatives do anyway. You know, there are district representatives that are yet to even engage with the constituents, and not to talk of the president. But it would be a good thing if the president should engage with his people. So all of the presidents have different ways that they engage with the media. And the media is always relaxed around the president. Some media practitioners or even presenters or reporters will not be happy with the presidency or whatever the president is doing. But once you have a seat with the president, your whole mindset change at that time.
Yeah. Okay. Good feedback. Good understanding of being engaged and talking with the president. I saw T. Wongbe. I mean, sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly, but I mean, you got the opportunity. We all were just chit-chatting, getting ready to kick the ball rolling, talking about the different topics. So, I mean, you can join in. I mean, what you've been hearing, a lot of things happening today. The president had an interview. A whole lot came from that interview today. Nuka dedicated a new building. I mean, it looks from the outside, it looks massive. Thanks to Fabian and the team. We heard the whole story about Safwa vision that she brought to that, but all the particles around it also. Number 12 is supposed to be filing of information. Oil law goes to the president. I mean, Potion violate the law. We're hearing that the president could send it back and ask the lawmaker to keep it within the 7 years time frame as required. Any other thing? Let's begin to just chit chat on them, and then we will go into the details.
Yeah, I just want to comment on something I heard Phoebe talk about earlier when I was in the background about how satisfied the president is with the works of the vice president, especially coming from the business background and what he brings to the table. I think that's a big deal for those of us who are citizens. I like this NIMBA politics, forgive me sometimes, you know, but those of us who are NIMBA citizens and who have known the vice president for so many years, we hear something like that, it makes us very happy. And I also heard, I think that was the interview yesterday or so, when he talked about he likes ELBC and ELWA, right? That was in that same interview, I believe. He said that because there are some stations around town that makes listening to radio really uncomfortable. I don't remember what one of them is. This CDC station. Yeah.
I beg you, did the station name. Just, I mean,
yeah. But in reference to what the president said, some stations, some media entities have actually allowed themselves to be politicized and to be used as tools that attempt to often undermine the functioning of the state, the works of government. And I think
the president coming on the radio and emphasizing that in his interview, that was good. But again, more specifically, I like the emphasis that he made on the vice president, not only because he's a citizen of Nimba and somebody that I have tremendous respect for, but also it takes my mind back to what this president, when he was vice president, said several years ago, that he was, I think he was alluding to the fact that the job of the vice president is to help the president, and he even referred to himself as a car that was parked or something, and people made a big deal of that. I believe when Jerry was in Philadelphia this year, February, he said the same thing. He said, hey, I'm also a car that is parked, and I'm basically learning. My job is to help the president. I'm vice president. My job is to help the president where I can, where he needs me. So it makes some of us very happy, who have known him for quite some time, who have been friends with him for many, many years. As it relates to this bill of information thing, I don't know what the gentle person wants to gain from that. We'll wait until we read the material that you actually submit to the court. I think it will become public information once it's submitted to the court. We'll, grab a hold of a copy and see what's in the way he wants from the court.
Yeah, I mean, happy about the vice president is not sufficient. I mean, saying you know a whole lot about him, but like everybody here following what's happening in the country, how is that knowledge of the private sector, of his private sector knowledge, really helping the government? How is he helping private sector? How is he helping the government? We know the private sector, they say always, is the engine of growth. You have a vice president who is private sector, czar from the private sector. How is it helping the government? How is it helping the country? Just by being recognized is not sufficient, right?
Yeah. People want to have confidence in their government. Okay, people want to have confidence in the government, in the performance of the government. A week before December 6th, the vice president gave a speech. It was at one of those government programs, I think it was the fishery thing. And he spoke about the need for government to invest in the private sector to create jobs. Okay, that goes back to his wheelhouse, where he comes from. Jobs that need to be created in this country is not only from within the public space or within the government circle. I think with his knowledge in private sector or investment, I think the vice president can boldly and unequivocally say that one of the things that this government needs to do is to be able to strengthen. He went to, before that speech, about a month before that, he went to Freeport. He gave a similar speech. He talked about what we can do if we can just invest within the private sector. How is Jerry's connection to private sector investment so intertwined with his position right now as vice president? How is he so different from every other vice president or from several vice presidents that we have had in recent times? When you talk about investment, when you talk about the need to strengthen the private sector, when you speak in the camera with honesty to the people and say, hey, we have not met your expectations yet. I will be on this government bike myself as vice president. We stand and say the need of the ordinary people, especially those of you who want to work in the private sector space. The reason you got us here, we are trying, but we have not met it yet. And I'll be in the president ear, I'll be in the government ear, I'll be your ambassador, I'll be a representative, because myself understand what it means to be a businessman. So therefore, as vice president, I will use my voice to work internally with the government to create space for those of you who are operating within the private sector.
Thank you. I mean, we just got joined by our brother Winfred from Minnesota. Good to be here. We're just chit-chatting. We'll be starting the show formally in a few minutes. We'll begin with some videos that we'll all just talk about. But you're talking about the vice president, just give you a chip chap on the two. The vice president is not an advocate. He's a policy maker. The way you determine the impact of his work is the policies they made and the result of those policies. I mean, that may vice president to be advocating again. It may vice president now to make decisions, and those decisions will reflect. I mean, people will see the outcome of those decisions. Not to be an advocate. We're going to the third year now. Private sector expert. The president listening to you. The president takes advice from you, especially on private sector related issues. We want to see the output. We want to see the outcome. So Winfred, just give all your opening thoughts, and then we'll begin to go directly into the show. But just giving you the time to chit chat.
Thank you, and it's great being on as always from the great state of Minnesota and the beautiful city of Brooklyn Park, where it's about 10 degrees today, and we're using the English system of measurement as Liberia should. So Phoebe, 10 degrees is, I don't know what that is in Celsius, but 10 degrees is pretty cold, and it's very cold. In any case, so I know we talk about the vice president and his pedigree, and it's coming from the the business world. He's someone who we have a lot of mutual friends because we're all from Nimba. I have connections in Nimba there too. So I respect and appreciate that. But one of the things is that to be a small time business person, understanding business at a very local pedestrian level is different from understanding business from this much higher international level with contacts and connections that you can call. You can look in your Rolodex and say, hey, I know, Ambula, Mohammed, that's my guy. I can call him. I mean, he's an agriculturist, or he's know about hydrocarbon, the whole hydrocarbon industry, or Mr. Henry's or Mr. Fangalo, whoever. You can pick up the phone and call them. That's the kind of thing that I think that we need, the kind of business people with that sort of pedigree that we need. The Simeon Freemans of the world, who has business connections here, there, whatever. I can bring jobs. I can help to create jobs. Look,
like Alexander Cummings,
Mr. Cummings. The Liberia population, folks, is only 5 million. Mommy, it's not that big. 1 or 2 companies from America can change the whole thing. 1 or 2 big companies, not I'm saying America because I'm here, but it's from Brazil or from France or whatever, can change the entire job creation landscape of the country. But you need that connection, you need that network, you need that to make that, for that to happen, you need some strong connection, not local business connection, selling gas here. No disrespect. You selling gas here, you say some little retail stuff. No, that's not what we're talking about, brother.
Phoebe?
So yeah, no, Russell, I don't envy your weather. The first time I went to that place, I said no. America, the cold is equal. I think here is cold because I prefer the heat on the side to the cold.
Okay.
And that small mistake you make, you start to shiver all of your body. I said no, I can't live there.
But okay, Mame, hold on. Phoebe, hold on, I thought right there. Let me ask you a question, right? And maybe this is something. Okay, so we have a snow economy. Why don't we have? I mean, there's a multi-billion-dollar economy around snow, around the weather. Why don't we have a wet economy or an economy that revolves around the rain or the sun?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I agree with you. For the sun, like we're struggling with electricity, you can tap into that for solar energy. The water during the rainy season, you have a lot of flood, so you can have a whole sanitation team to manage waste wetland areas and ensure that people's homes are not flooded and manage, and that can be also a source of income for certain people during the rainy season. You can store water for irrigation purposes. There are a lot of different things we can do. Even now, I see the futurist, industry is trying to take a shape into that, but there's a whole big chunk of money if Liberia can just invest into that. even the cold water, the rivers and creeks, the cold water fish, the tilapia and other fish that grows with us, not the salt water. There's a huge revenue potential in our belt that Liberia can also take advantage of. But we hope that we can see a major turnaround in that direction if the government can look into that with real, seriousness. And the point you made about the business economy, the business stuff, yeah, the vice president was involved in petty trade. That's something you can use that to motivate people. But the real business terrain, it goes above that. So if you want to develop the petty traders, he has a very good knowledge into that, and that's something the government needs to also go to the SMEs. You can drive some huge support in that direction, and you can motivate people to look at so gas, and from there I rose to this level. So you yourself, you can also take it from there. So that can draw some inspiration to a lot of people, and I think he can use that to drive it. But the real economic boom is a whole different terrain altogether that they need to also bring in some real experts to join and tap into whatever knowledge and expand on it. So that these are things that they need to do. The Investment Commission, Ministry of Commerce, they have to do that. But I think, the president agenda is to ensure that he prepares his successor. So that's why you see he's giving the vice president a lot of opportunities, and he also speaks positively about him every time he has the opportunity to. So we hope the vice president can take advantage of that, because that's a free PR the president is giving him, and also giving the opportunity not to be a parked car. So it's just, look, when I'm leaving, I'm bringing somebody like you guys. That's the statement he keeps making. So he's trying to sell his vice president as a successor. So we hope that he can take advantage of that and project himself and to seize the moment. Everybody has there all be the kind of opportunities, but they need some real experts to come in to look at the whole economic space to drive private sector growth. They need to look at it from that angle too.
Well, gentlemen, let's go into the show. We'll begin with the whole Noka story. I mean, a very nice building dedicated. I mean, for small businesses, SMEs, and big businesses, we who really, study and work in development, there's a whole big discussion and topics around that. But the consensus is to be able to drive economic growth is reliant more on small, medium-sized enterprises than on big companies. That's where the consensus is at the moment, right? Small, medium-sized enterprises drive economic growth, put more money in the hands of the people, make them more sustainable than these big companies who usually come and just basically hire them and pay them wages, right? So when you have middle-income people moving from selling gas in gallon to opening a smaller gas stations, right? If you have somebody who are just selling potatoes to maybe open a potato store, that small, medium-sized enterprises, the expansion of the small, medium-sized enterprises drive economic growth, make the growth more sustainable than these large companies. Because we have Bowman here, Bowman left, it's a big company, everything collapsed, right? You have the other big companies, when they leave, everything collapsed. So small, domestic, medium-sized enterprises, empowered and expanding, move the growth faster and make it even more sustainable. But good conversation, the vice president. The president believes he gives him good pieces of advice. What we will be looking for is going to year 3. How those pieces of advice translating into growth in the private sector and creating jobs for our people. That's what we're looking for. We're not just looking for the president praising a vice president. The president and vice president praising a vice. The good thing about it is the president and the vice president seem to be working together. That is critical. The president and his vice president working together. Very good for the country. It shows sign of unity, it shows sign of commitment, and for me, that's where I see it from. But we'll still be counting on what are the results that we need to look for. Let's see. So, Lorena, let's start with Noka. They launched a very massive building today From the outside, people say when you go inside, it's tight and small. But from the outside, it looks good, right? It looks good. The design, the drawings, and everything there for me. Just looking at it, I'm very impressed. Without going into any detail, I would just say thanks to Fabian and the team for picking this up in less than 1 year. I mean, since Fabian and took over, it's been less than a year. In less than 1 year, to be able to roll it out, get it ready, to commence working from there, is an impressive start that we wanted to just, say hats off to. But there's a whole story behind it, and I will lay it out and then ask you for your opinion. This is Safua's vision. You can't take it from her. She sat one day in her chair with her people and said, yes, we're getting money. This seismic data we're leasing to companies, they're paying our money. Let's build headquarters. Let's take some money and put it into headquarters. And they agree. Say, yes, let's build headquarters. The money they made is far less than the money that was made in the past, but nobody built headquarters. That's the fact. You can't change that one. But now, yeah, there's particles that you need to pay attention to. They signed a contract on July 13, 2023 for $2.9 million. 4 days later, they disbursed 50% of that amount to the contractor. They signed a contract on July 13. 4 days later, Lorena, you can pull a check up. Let me pull a check up. I get a check here. Yes. July 17, 728 to BMC. They signed a contract July 13. Get the other check. 728 double checks. 2 different check numbers to establish that are 2 different checks. The first one, the second one. How do I take the thing all again? Okay, good. So they signed a contract on July 13, July 17. They pay 50%, offload 50% to the contractor. Justice Minister, no signature. Finance Minister, no signature. The contract went forward. Safua is a lawyer. The law says any contract above, I think, $1 million, the Justice Minister, the Finance Minister should sign. But they signed in less than 3 days, pay 50%. What is even more interesting, after the election result was announced in November, and President Weah said nobody should spend anything above $10,000 without my approval. Safua amended the contract. After the election result was announced, she amended the contract and added 1.5 million more on the amount. The same day she amended the contract, the same day she paid the contractor $796,000. So the story on the other side is this contract or this construction was just used as an opportunity to get money out of the system, especially after the election was announced, pay 1.5 million, take the bottom one. That's one accusation. So when the new leadership took over now, 50% of the amount already paid to the contractor, but the contractor need to deliver. So Fabian and his team now decided to say, no, yes, it's a good vision. We need to move forward, and then they pay the rest of the other money to get the project to where it is. All these particles around it, the fact remains the same. It is Safua vision. She decided that Noka will have its own headquarters. The process of the payment, the increment in the value, the finance minister now signing, those are the particles. What are your thoughts, Fabian? What's his name? Fubi.
So listening to your narration, I think this is totally unacceptable. I think that's where the asset recovery also need to look at digging, and also GSC also needs to, if they have not done it, they also need to go there and do a comprehensive audit and ascertain that, because you cannot naturally violate the laws, especially when it comes to your contract with the limit being approved by the Justice Minister and the Finance Minister, and also amending the contract when the President also spoke that nobody should spend above 10,000 or so, and you disburse 700,000+. That is unacceptable. You know, the President now is in charge. LACC is there, so you have all the agencies that are supposed to go after and dig deeper and come up with the actual findings, and that might lead to a prosecution, and do their job, because you cannot use public office for your personal benefits. The company, wherever you work, they paid you good salary, especially being the CEO of NOCA. You took good salaries. You know, you have good bonuses. So you cannot be amending contract right after you hear election result and you say, okay, no, at this time I think we need to change this and get something for ourselves.
1.5 out of 1.5 million.
Okay, and so the new NOCA management also shouldn't have proceeded without having a better conclusion of that whole deal. It not just go because you already see contracts, you see two different contracts, you see the dates, you see advance payments being made, and you just go and also decide to continue from where you saw it. They should have raised the red flag and call for some immediate investigation to understand what happened and to deal with the issues. You know, people should understand this, the whole issue about the elephant meat saga. It has to stop. So if this government cannot stop it, then we don't know where we'll go. And stopping it, they shouldn't even see it as wish hunt. You know, because whatever, if people call it wish hunt, say yes, that wish hunt, because the act that he also performs is act of witchcraft. You know, so nothing wrong with hunting witches and wizards for performing acts of witchcraft, especially against the poor people. You know, I think the government needs to not just celebrate dedication or new building or headquarters. You know, that is unacceptable. Go after the extra 1.5 million. Why? And even the BMC company that also did the construction, they also need to understand where that money went. You can't sign a contract today, and after a few other days, you come by, you amend and issue you check and you collect it. So if you also a partner in crime, then they also need to nail them.
But the LACC says Safwa committed no crime. I'm told they investigated, they took the case to the LACC called her, she went there, she explained. LACC said you committed no crime. To amend contract is not a violation. Maybe you decided that you needed to add some flavor to the building, so you add $1.5 million there. To pay the contractor immediately the next day, yeah, maybe you felt the contractor who needed the money fast. Right? I mean, these are like protocols. They say when you pay somebody contract to do a job, the person should start. Sometimes it's 20%, 30%, but then they want you pay 50%. Maybe she said, okay, we wanted to go fast. We wanted to cut the bidding and make it finish soon.
What's the urgency? A new government taking over, you know that you will be out of office. So what's the urgency? Everything else you have been to a halt and wait for the new government to take it from there. There is no urgency. So then probably you also start looking at what LACC also, they even have credible people there. Because there is no urgency at that moment. When you have a change of government, when you see a change of government in a month or so, there is no urgency. There is nothing there but emergency. If that building had not gone up, the country will not burn. So you cannot say there was a need to change the contract and pay upfront amount. New management who have done that, review the process and continue. So there was no emergency. It was not somebody that on sick bed that needed blood. It's not somebody that needed C-section to give birth. It's not somebody that needed some kind of emergency surgery. That if it's not done in the next 10 minutes, the person will be pronounced dead. Constructing a building, the building, after paying that money, the building didn't move from the ground and became completed the next day. So there was no emergency. So he started now question LACC and say whether those guys are there, they are credible, whether they also didn't even benefit from some of the money. Well, it was wrong.
Yeah, because specifically the fact is the contract was signed, Bukaka paid the contract, Finance Minister did not sign, Justice Minister did not sign. Whether that constitute a crime or just constitute a violation, that's a whole different story. How they pay the money, the contract signed today, 3 days later, you pay 50%. Maybe people say, okay, she wanted it to go fast. I mean, she wanted the contract to just get ready, that she wanted to be a legacy. She wanted to complete it in time. So you pay the contractor all the money so you can do the work fast. What do you say, Fangalo? I mean, you follow
just 1 minute, 1 second. The first payment, I wouldn't have problem with that. But the payment after election, that's the main one. That's the main red flag. The additional 1.5 million. That's the main red flag. The first one, you can say, okay, government was still on things to move it. But after the election, they announced that there's a new president that's going to take over in a month or so. There was no emergency. Everything about government at that moment, you have to just be on a pause. That's what the president said. Nobody should spend above 10,000 without a consent. So there was no emergency.
And usually when you pay somebody 50% to do a job, you want them to complete 50% before you give them the balance 50%. I mean,
yeah.
That makes sense. But Fangalo, you follow the local story. Safwa sat in her office, had a big vision for local to have his own office, found a contractor, put some money in the process, signed it on the 13th, 4 days later, pay 50%. After President Weah was defeated, amended the contract at $1.5 million and paid the contractor immediately $796,000. Today, the project was dedicated. How does that take from her legacy of envisioning the project?
The building looks beautiful. Let's start from there. The building looks beautiful, and then we can work our way back. Like Fubi said, I don't have a problem with payment being made. For me personally, I don't have a problem with the timeline of the payment. My specific issue has to do with issue of law, the lack of necessary signatures. That to me makes it, questionable. Why were the signatures, like the Minister of Justice and I believe Finance Minister's signature, why were they lacking? I think that speaks to a broader issue of potential corruption. And then we want to see the LACC report. If LACC says that they have performed an investigation or they have done some questioning and they have found no issue of wrongdoing, I would like to see the report. If you have a copy, please post it in a group chat. I was just looking at the timeline and the check and other information that already been posted. But have you guys seen the LACC report that clearly says, or still, why did they conclude? How did they reach the conclusion that there was no offense, even though important signatures were not there, which then makes the issue of the payment questionable? Have you seen the report itself? Ubi, have you guys seen the report? LACC?
No, I've not seen the report. I'm trying to find something else. Safwa released a statement to clarify that she got cleared by the LACC, but I've not seen any LACC report.
Yeah, but for me, during that particular time, look at all of the homes. My office, where I'm sitting now, the street right in front here on the highway was broken. They didn't have money. They claimed there was no money to finish the major construction. I know about 1 or 2 pregnant women who, unfortunately have miscarriages because of the vibration of machines and the work here. They broke people's houses down and everything. They could not finish important construction projects. What was the urgency, for that type of payment? 1.7 here, 1.5 here, so quickly, or in very quick succession, in the absence of important signature. I think, to me, until we see, maybe LACC need to go back. Maybe that's something. I don't know if there's precedent for that, but maybe LACC needs to go back and look for further information on why did the Noka project become so urgent that money was being paid in such quick succession when there were other projects, including the road project. These LACC have been rationing electricity. People's homes were getting burned, blaming on LACC because of current problem. There were so many issues of urgency related to government spending around town. Why did you choose that particular project, and handle it with that measure of urgency? I think that's questionable for me.
Thank you. Winfred, you follow the scene question. Is that sufficient to take away? Is that sufficient to take away Safua's credit? Right? I mean, we're talking about credit here. Is that sufficient? All these particles you listen to, is it sufficient to take away her credit? Fabian and his thinking, they put effort. They pay over 50% of the money. That one, that's fact. They pay over 50% of the money. Supervisor, contractor, make sure you deliver in time. Does that take away her legacy of a vision in the project?
No, I don't think it takes away her legacy, Ambulai. And look, we cannot have it both ways, right? We trust these integrity institutions, the LACC and the GACC and all of the other groups there. We cannot sit back and wait for them to give us, an outcome. And if we don't like the outcome they're giving us, then we start crying foul. I mean, we can't have it both ways. We entrust these organizations to go out there and do the investigation. If they went out there and they've done that investigation, Ambulai, and they said no crime committed, we move. I mean, that's how I see it. I mean, yes, you may put an asterisk there and say, in the detail and talk about how, this was done then or this was done, the other way. We can highlight those things as panelists, as journalists, and we're highlighting them. But if we are going to respect, and we should respect and abide by these processes that we've laid out, and these organizations we've entrusted to investigate corruption when we see it. I mean, there's no question about it. The stubborn reality in Liberia is corruption. Okay, I mean, there's just no question about it. But I mean, it clearly, from what you laid out, this clearly doesn't pass what we call the smell test. Okay, but we entrust this to these integrity institutions to do the investigation. They've done the investigation. No crime committed. The building is out. It's all. It's been dedicated now. It looks nice. We move.
So it comes back. I bring you back to this scene discussion. Then we'll move on to this scene thing about all the spectacles, but the message remains the same, right? We'll move to the President Bwaka's the FOIA project. All the spectacles, but seems to be the message remains the same. It is a government property. It's not a private property, but there are spectacles around it. We'll move there. But Fubi, you in Burkina Faso. I come here. I will come to you. You in Burkina Faso. Go on social media. All the Liberians you hear, see what the boy doing in Burkina Faso. In 6 months time, he build road. In 6 months time, he build factory. He's not following procurement process. He's not waiting for both finance minister, justice minister to sign. And we celebrate him. We say it's good. Safua on the other side say, okay, let's do it. Let me pay 50% upfront. President, we are leaving. We want the project to delay so that put additional 1.5. So you who focus on Fangalo, you focus on the law. I mean, I'm just being hypothetical. How do you celebrate the decision in Burkina Faso that doesn't go through PPCC, no procurement? You celebrate it and make reference to Liberia. Liberia see what the men doing. But then when it come to you on the other side, you say no. 2% did not sign. The other process was delayed. How do you reconcile that? Do we adapt Burkina Faso strategy? Is it good for Liberia? Or we just stick with the process that we know to follow all through the processes so that the procurement project can go for even 6 or 9 months, so that 1 year?
There is no, and to Russell's point, about we can't have it both ways with integrity institutions. For me, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that in one aspect, let us accept the LACC report, and then with respect to other investigations, let's question that report. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying let us see the report. When we see the report, we'll give a further clarification. as to how they reached the conclusion. There's no clear evidence of the violation of law here in my mind. When we go through the report, we'll be able to have substantive facts. They will reference the law. They will be able to go into much more detail with respect to what has happened. The issue of Burkina Faso, is I don't know what to say bittersweet. There's a thing about Burkina Faso in terms of how they are undertaking projects that I like. But then fundamentally, there is something about it that, as somebody who has lived in the United States for so many years, just reflecting, looking on down here at Africa in terms of how their governments work, how people get to power in Africa, and how they handle the issues of the state. I have a little issue with that because even the gentleman that Traoré, my whole problem with him is how he came to power, and then how other people want to get him out of power, but he thinks that, oh no, I'm legit, I'm working in the interest of the state. And I have some problems with, the way he works with the press. There's unconfirmed report that he's having serious issue with the press. You must report certain things the way it was done back in Zaire, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and other things. Media persons are afraid that if they don't get his good side, then that's a problem for them. So all of the reports that come from Burkina Faso about these great development projects or how they are becoming self-sufficient and independent from the West, etc., we should take it with a grain of salt because you're telling the West to leave, but the types of contract you are going into with the communists, with the Russians and things like that, is problematic for me personally. But overall, I think that, if I had to resort to this grading thing that we've been doing for quite some time, I will get maybe what do you call it, A, because there's still more facts to come out before we can begin making reference to Burkina Faso in terms of, their successes and their failures, their challenges and things like that. It's just too complex. The issue of Burkina Faso, it has so many angles, that we have to look into before referencing them in terms of representation for democracy.
Phoebe, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so Brother Russell's point about we can't have it both ways. No, you can have it both ways. Auditors can also be compromised. I forgot this stuff that even took place in the States when they had all those big audit firms that went down because they were cooking the books. So they can be compromised. So we can't say because we trusted the LACC, so when we smell fraud, which you say no, then they say, okay, no. You yourself say you can pass the smell test. So why should we be okay with LACC saying, yeah, she's clear? No, we can't be okay with that.
And the people who be to your point, they put the LACC, they're not gods. They are human beings like yourself.
Yeah, they're not gods. And we know auditors. We know how they behave. Some are good, some interested in the money, so they can be compromised. So we will not sit here and say we can have it both. We can have it both ways. When we smell fraud, we will say it. But on the issue, look, maybe on the issue of Burkina Faso, look, Burkina Faso is a serious country. Not because you say the military regime, they have systems in place. It's not just doing, just wake up in the morning and say, do this. There's a serious system in place. There's the institutions here, they work. So don't just think that, they're just running the country with one man show. No, there's serious system in place and things are working according to the system. Because the head of the state cannot be all over doing everything. But they are tightening controls on even money moving from one point to another. There are strong system in place. So don't get that wrong and think that they just one man just running around doing everything. No, he has system in place and it's ensuring that the system works. There are corrupt people that he got out of the system, put credible people in system and in positions, and holding them accountable to deliver. So there's a serious system in place. We got a whole parliament that also review stuff and pass on them. So it's not just one man show the running the country. No, it's a system in place, and the president is a serious manner president with the right vision, and he's driving that vision.
Thank you. So for me, what I would say on that, Winfred, those are the LACC and our gods. I mean, their decision is their decision. We have our opinions. We can analyze, make statements. Take Bapolu, for example. This is something I would take up with the LACC. During President Weah era, I think it was around 2021, 2022, they approved to pave the Bopolu City Road, the road in Bopolu City, to pave it. They get special chip seal pavement. They awarded the contract. The contractor received the money. We display the checks here on my Facebook page. Display the check, the contract, the report. The people colluded with the contractor and presented a report that the contractor have completed the work. Therefore, the government should pay. They disburse that money to the contractor. Today, one pavement is now on Bopolu Road. One. The people in the city say, yeah, we saw one contractor came here, they packed some things here. After 1-2 weeks, they packed, they left, they went back. The road remained the same. LACC went there and investigated. You go on LACC website, you see they say the investigation completed. No action. LACC, no action, no comment. But in the same Bapolu, the superintendent is alleged for some machine issue. In less than 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the Finning Poke indictment on him going to court. Because somebody want him to go to court. So, yes, people can make that decision because we entrust them with the authority, but we are also human beings. We're not stupid. We can see between lines and we'll continue to make that analysis. That Bapolu project will go behind it and find that contractor to go and deliver saying he received the money. On the Noka project, what I can say is Safua envisioned a very good vision. She take that credit. The particles around it are not good. The way funds were disbursed, you pay some contract today, finance minister not signed, justice minister not signed. The 2 days later, you disburse 50% to the contractor. Election is over, the president is announced, then you amend the contract and add 1.5 million. It's questionable. Yes, you had a good vision, but down the road, you mop it up with all sort of suspicious transactions. That is it. Swakoko came, she proceeded, Fabian came, ended the job, pay the rest of the money, deliver a corporate headquarters, and Noka will be moving in. I will say thank you to Fabian and the team for picking it up and doing it the way they did it. Safua, you had a good vision, but you messed it up with all sorts of suspicious transactions. Talking about that, we'll go to.
No, but let me just ensure that let us ensure that the audience, the listeners and viewers understand where I was coming from.
Okay.
Both you, Fubi, and Ambula. So I'm not naive. For context, I ran a U.S. government-funded project in the Southeast, and we had ordered 5,000 gallons of gas, and the truck brought the gas to our compound. And I was there. I had some, contractors from Ireland, from the U.S., and all of that. So we were there when the gas came in, when the tanker came in with the gas, and I was sitting there, guys. I stood up there. The guys came, because I was in charge of the administrative head of the project. And they broke the seal on the counter. The counter was 0. They broke the seal. They said, they broke the seal. I stood there while they dispensed the gas. 5,000 gallons. So the other folks around said, Chief, we agree. That thing, not 5,000. I said, but what are you talking about? So I'm wearing my American hat, And I'm looking at this stuff. I'm right there. I didn't blink. I watched the meter go to 5,000 gallons. So, come to find out that, you know, so those guys went downtown, and then one of the other folks, I mean, all of the guys around were not satisfied. They went downtown. They saw one of the tanker folks there negotiating with the people, you know. Come to find out that instead of delivering 5,000 gallons, those guys only deliver 3,000 gallons. And I'm there. The meter showed 5,000. I was like, huh? You know, so anyway, so the point is, so I know, I mean, I like, and these are not government officials. These are regular local folks. We are working together. So I know the system is rotten. I mean, it's rotten. I mean, there's no question. So I'm not saying that. So what I'm just saying is that, hey, you know, we have those people there. They're doing the work. That's why we're calling it out. That's why you guys are speaking out about it. You know, Ambula, that's why you're providing the information. So the next level now, as we talk about putting in place system, is for whoever else is above those guys or the government, the Ministry of Justice now, to take this up. But, you know, take up the information that Fubi is providing, that Ambula is providing, that, you know, T is providing, you know, and take it up, and we move to the next thing. But we call it out, and we are calling it out. But I'm not naive. I know that, you know, the guys that they are, I mean, like, spectacularly corrupt.
Thank you. So we'll move. I mean, Dr. George, you just joined in. We're talking about the NUCA headquarters. I mean, you can just give your 1-2 minutes, and then we'll move to the next, you know, topic we have. We just provided a historical overview about how it started with Safwa, the payments she made, all the circumstances around those payments. After President Buya was defeated, President Bouaka was announced as president. They amended the contract and added 1.5 million to it and paid the contractor the same day 50% of that 1.5 million. So people speculating that something happened in between there, but the project was completed, it's dedicated, and we just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Oh, we want to first of all say good evening to you, Ambula. Good to see you. Good evening, Chief Henry. Good evening, Councilman Russell, and our listeners who are joining us on television and on radio. Well, the present government have been in place for almost 2 years now, and they have the opportunity to investigate whether there was foul play or there wasn't foul play at NUCA. That we have not heard from them sufficiently on this issue. I do question the situation of releasing money as fast as possible to a contractor. But if the current government, who was in opposition with us, and we all condemned the CDC government for a long time, have come into power and feel comfortable with the situation, we'll hold them responsible for whatsoever action is taking place. It's their responsibility to make sure that all the books are correct and everything is in place. And if they have not done so, and the current government, General Audit Commission, have given Madam Gray a pass card, then that means she passed. It's the same argument that the UP people used to give us when President Weah became president. That he said President Saliha 80%. So the government was great. So I think it's the same thing we have here now, that the UP people have said as a government, GSC have said as Madam Gray have a clean slate, and definitely she will all say yes, it's true. She has great clean slate because they have the responsibility to investigate.
Thank you. So we move to the next discussion. This whole thing about the FOIA project, a lot of spectacles keep moving around it. All the different things keep moving around it. But like I said from the beginning, there's, of all the things moving around it, one thing remains constant. It is not a private property, it is government property. But how was it acquired? How is it being constructed? where the resources coming from, how it will be managed, all the misinformation or the different information around it. One day, Daniel Sano said this. The other day, he comes back, he read a very nicely written statement that provide all the details. The other time, nobody knew about it. The other time, somebody knew. So all the information around it different. But one information constant is, it is not a private property. It is a government property. So we play this.
Comfort in the previous administration. In simple terms, some of your people believe that you are not fighting corruption. Some people.
No, not that one.
Comfort in the previous administration. In simple comfort in the previous administration.
Where the guy put
in simple terms,
where the guy put the video?
Some
Man?
of your people believe that you.
No, we're not asking for corruption video. We're not asking for corruption video.
You're dragging the fight against corruption. Little. So we thought that we use this opportunity to ask you.
No, we're not asking for corruption.
What is your stand on corruption?
No, we're not asking for the corruption video. If you get the video where the president was explaining about the LOFA project, please put it up. Please put it up. We're not asking for corruption video. So if you get the LOFA video in the background, please put that video up. The two
in the previous administration. In simple terms,
the two videos here with 2 minutes 22 seconds. That video for fight against corruption and that the LOFA project. But while we're thinking about getting to that LOFA project video, we can just.
FOIA project is intended to be a hub for peacemaking in the sub-region.
Who's playing it? Someone playing the video.
I'm sorry, mommy. I was just going through it. It was playing from my phone, so it would not go directly in this.
Oh, okay. But then please post it please put it in the chat room so we can see how we can get it on. So while we're waiting for that, also today at the Ministry of Finance, this is what happened. Let me just play and then we can give our thoughts on that.
It reflects the confidence that the European Union has in the government of Liberia's commitment to pursue ambitious reforms, promote accountability, and improve financial governance. And it also illustrates the robust partnership between the government of Liberia and the European Union and the shared goals to advance good governance and sustainable development for the people of Liberia.
European Union. These have been consistent funding to Liberia. The European Union today signed another round of support to Liberia. Just get your thoughts on it. I mean, we'll just spin over that, just a form of an announcement, additional support to the government, where it's being directed. We're looking forward to impact. Just get your thoughts and then we'll move to the president's video on FOIA project. We'll start with you, Fangalo.
Yeah, while my buddies are not here yet to talk about it was George Weah project and George Michael and Joseph Walker just trying to say, hey, we succeeded in it. Why did I hear to say that? The fact remains that we can agree or disagree on substance. When it comes to this government's ability to be able to move around the international corridor and demonstrate that this government can be believed, at least on the basis of their potential, on the basis of the difference between the past government and this government, with respect to how international partners view all of the different, benchmarks at the local before, expanding funds. I think that this government has done substantively well. The last time, Mami, you were now on the show, we're discussing issue about SOE. I made it very clear that I personally struggle to defend, those state-owned enterprises, the directors that are there. Because when you do wrong, I am a member of the ruling party, but I maintain my independent voice to be objective in discussing issues. When it comes to the works of the finance ministry and the works of the foreign ministry, there can be no denying that the difference, the dichotomy between the two the last administration and this one. Just with respect to those two ministries, I think it's very clear. Gafon is doing a fantastic job. And you listen to the EU rep over there, she said, you know, this was a reflection of the confidence that the European Union has in the workings of the Liberian government, in paraphrasing here. So to me, Gafon continues to score a very good mark. You know, there's a reflection of what experience, education, qualification, patriotism, what these things can do when they are embodied into a man.
Thank you. Thank you, Winfred. I mean, European Union support has been a consistent support to Liberia. Today, we saw them reaffirming that commitment and then seeing as a result a government commitment to governance and trying to improve the lives of Liberian people. Just get your thoughts on it, and then we'll move to Dr. Josh and Fubi.
I think that's great, Mame. You know, it's great. But I'm not one of those who want to look at, at least. This is not about, at least we are doing better than the other than the government. You know, that's why that government, under George Weah, that's why they were kicked out. You know, so we can't come here and talk about at least. But I do welcome this and celebrate this. I don't know if this means that because this came through that the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning under Minister Gafon is doing an exceptionally fabulous job. I don't think I would go that far, but this is a good thing. I mean, this is a good thing. And we celebrate the small wins, and there may be big wins that are coming down the pipe, but we were to call them out for all of the missteps that they've had. We did an analysis a few shows ago. I think where was it, Fubi? Monday or Tuesday or whenever it was, and we graded the ministry, and on the letter grade, and he didn't pass. The ministry didn't pass. I mean, based on our own individual independent assessment. But what happened today, the signing of this and the confidence that the European Union has in the government and the ministry, I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and we'll celebrate this small win, and we move.
Thank you. Dr. Josh?
Yeah, thank you, Mame. The European Union is set to give Liberia this year support $62 million. $62 million. What we're trying to celebrate here right now. $62 million. That's $62 million. Let's see where the money going to. Number one, economic reforms. Number two, governance. Number three, supporting our revenue. Number four, rest production. Number five, public finance. Is this not a disgrace to us as Liberians? After 20 years of our current democratic regime, we still collecting $62 billion for somebody else to come and support reform of our economy. We need money for people to tell our own budget. European Union giving us money for rest production. Our 2026 budget, that giving Ministry of Agriculture at 9-point-something million or 13.6 million. The confusion is all around the place. And that's why we should celebrate as people. It's great to have funding coming in, but I don't celebrate this because it shows the level of which we as a people are willing to lower ourselves. We are not a poor country. We should not be celebrating someone giving us $64 million for economic reforms, for governance. We don't know how to, after 20 years, we don't know how to govern ourselves. Somebody got to give us money to teach us how to govern Liberia. We got to get money to support our revenue. When this year we have been celebrating the budget, they want us to celebrate is $1.2 billion. So we're going to look for $64 million from somebody again to come help us to do revenue building. This is not something that we should be celebrating. We should free ourselves. Bob Marley's song says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. That's the problem we're in now. We should free ourselves from this mental slavery. We are smart. We can grow our economy. We do not have to continuously support and come to the big signing ceremony just for $64 million. That's $64 million. $64 million. That's why we should be celebrating. Can we as a country raise more than that and build ourselves up? You see, Mame, recently, the president of one advanced country made a statement. He said, if you people are vexed with what I do in my country, go to your own country and develop it. That thing should make African leaders angry and start begging for money all around the place. We should be celebrating 64. I'm not part of those that are celebrating $64 million to do economic reform, focus on government, revenue, rest production, public finance. No, I'm not going to join that celebration.
But you're not also rejecting it.
But I'm not in a position to reject it. The finance minister has signed the money today. Under a communist government, we will not be going to sign this $64 million. We'll be building our economy. That's what we're telling the people to look for the third wave. We are smart people. Look, Mami, I ran a program where I interview Liberians who are doing great things all around the world. Leading $1 billion company. In the U.S. Armed Forces, we have Liberia at the top, all the way to be for how they call it, full colonel. They are Liberians. They will be begging for 64 after 20 years of democratic dispensation. We celebrating $64 million for that. Look at the recent economic reforms. Focus on governance, revenue, helping our revenue. Rest production. When our own budget, we refuse to give money for that. We're gonna be happy that somebody can give us $64 million. Okay. Oh, these are not the things I celebrate.
At least you're not celebrating, but you're not rejecting.
Now I'm saying again to you, Mame, under a communist administration,
you reject the money.
So
come will reject the money.
We will not be walking around looking for $64 million because we'll be building money in Liberia. We'll be raising money in Liberia. We'll be building our economy. We will know how to generate revenue. That's why we raise our revenue up. In 2017, Mr. Alexander B. Cummings said our revenue can be over $1 billion. It took us all these years to realize that. Rest production. Can we put money in our own economy? We refuse in our agricultural budget to put money because we're waiting for. You wrote about it, Mame. You wrote your article on that. That we're waiting for donors to come and support the things that we ourselves should be supporting. Are we not supposed to be angry with these kind of things? How will we move forward as a nation? Every year we're waiting for somebody to come give us money. $54 million is that, $124 million is that. We're celebrating other people's country giving us the money, and we are not celebrating us raising our own money to develop our country. We cannot continue to be in this position as a country.
Thank you, Dr. George. Phoebe Henrens, European Union, providing 64 million, but more than that, saying they do so because they see commitment to governance, they see commitment to transforming the economy, they see credibility for the support. I mean, this is a diplomatic statement, but what can you take from there?
Yeah, like you said it right, a diplomatic statement, and they will always spin it in that direction. We will always welcome when you get free money from people, and even where you are right now, someone give you bulk and say, "Man, I have Chris money, you take it." so you always be happy to get free money. But I also go with Emmanuel's point, and I've always said it on the show, and I've always said it in many other times when I had the opportunity to speak. I don't believe in the aid regime. I don't think our government should be waiting for aid before they can do some significant things that we ourselves can do. As long as we keep waiting for these aids, nothing going to change in that country significantly. Because they're going to be the same old, waiting for. As I always use this analysis, this scenario, I say when you put your eating pen in somebody's house, they will decide when you eat. Because if they decide to close that door, you gotta go into the camera and open that door before you eat. So you must have your own eating pen, your co-pot, everything in your own kitchen. And you have the keys to it, and you have your pantry key. So you decide when you eat. If you want to go eat, you want to cook, you go and cook. But if everything in somebody's house, especially the agriculture sector, if you're waiting for somebody to fund your agriculture sector, nothing gonna happen. We have very good experts in the country that got very good training in agriculture. We got the land, we got the water, we got rich soil. What's stopping us from adequately investing into food crop production? Rice, cassava, potato, plantain, vegetables, and what have you. Some of those crops, they take 3 months. Some will take you 6 months. Some will take you 9 months. Some will take you a whole year. What's stopping us? These are quick returns. We just need to put the money in there. People got land, but no financing. They can't get loan from the bank to invest. You got the agriculture ministry, you got the extension services. You have CARI for research. What's stopping us from using the extension services to work with farmers, work with people that got land, get CARI viable, improve variety you can bring to ensure that will give you these seeds and other stuff to help you to push, and just monitor them, work with the banks. Put a management team together to supervise all of these different. If you want rice production, our goal, our staple food, farmers can grow those rice, government can buy them and resell them. America, for example, they pay farmers. What's stopping us from adapting some of those best practices to come back to our country to bring it to our own level? Begging will not change our country. We'll keep begging, waiting, sitting down, signing papers. We welcome the diplomatic statement. We have confidence in the government. We think that but every government that came, they sat down and some people and they give them money. They found way, Charles Taylor had a partner with Taiwan and a few other countries that were giving rice and money. Madam Sally Kings, you have a lot of partners that were giving us money. Joe King, the very European Union, and other people giving money. They have confidence in the government. Once they get that issue, now Boca is there. They are confident in the government, they'll get money. But what are those monies doing or have done for the country to change the country, the impact they have made? You can't point to them. So we need to move from that. How can we mobilize local revenue? How can we strengthen our justice system to deal with corrupt officials? And how can we use the local revenue to divert them into projects that will generate money for the country and boost the economy? That's where our thinking should be driving, not just saying I'm waiting for aid. How can we ensure that our lawmakers don't pumping money in, they're increasing their own budget and not looking at prioritizing the people that they represent to the point that they even want to increase more seats?
I just want to say one thing quickly, just 1 second before Winfred coming. For me personally, I think that the judge spoke well and Phoebe spoke well as well. But it is very important for us to understand, to be aware, that when it comes to international relations and how governments across the world, how they work, the issue is not about aid, receiving aid. The issue for me is how we use the aid we receive and how we utilize our own capacity to generate more revenue. Israel, for instance, is a very powerful country in the Middle East. They receive over $25 billion from the United States government every year. So it's about what they do with it in sustaining their own defense, helping to protect their people, to provide job opportunity, etc., etc. Ukraine just last year received over $160 billion from the United States government. There are governments all across Europe, first world countries, that are receiving these aids for so many different reasons. My thing is, when it comes to Phoebe's point, what are we doing with the aid that we are receiving? And because the aid is not stopping us from developing our own capacity. It can be used in addition to. It can be used to advance our infrastructure project. My coffee standing over there. We can build 1 or 2 more hydro. We can, advance our medical sector, education sector, while we are still producing and relying on our own capacity. I don't think the aid is undermining us. What is undermining us is our own dependency syndrome and our own lack of patriotism and failure to expand beyond and to move beyond what we see right now.
But the argument here is, sorry, Mama, the argument here is not what the money is being used for. This 64 million that is coming for to do our economic reforms. We don't know how we can use our own breed to reform our economy. It's coming for us to focus on good governance. For 20 years now, we'll be in the Democratic dispensation. We no good governor yet. That
will
money
you
is
say, Dr. George, that money coming in is preventing us from actually succeeding in the areas of advancing?
In some instances, I know where your question going, Dr. Joe. Let me just come in so Winfred can come in, then we'll go around. I know where your question. In some instances, yes, it's actually making us dependent. The dependency syndrome is holding us down in some instances. I can reference agriculture. If you ask anybody, they will tell you they do not fund agriculture, so no need for all to put money there. That's the dependency syndrome. That is the reason why government have not offloaded significant amount of money to unlock the potential in agriculture, because we rely on one donor to bring in some money under different conditions. The different project management mechanism that those resources are placed under cannot unlock the potential in the sector. And we've been doing it since 2005. Since 2005 to today, we just relying. One of our colleagues from the Ministry of Finance, in his attempt to probably explain, he provided a very revealing information to me. He explained how many money donors have pumped into agriculture and how many money, because he was trying to argue that we got money for agriculture. And he listed from 2020, from 2018 to 2024, how many money donor put in agriculture versus how many money Liberia herself put there. Donor money is over 99.9%. And we just putting a drop into it. And because the way the donor funds are structured, the way they are managed, the complexity around it, the way they spread all over different places, they can really unlock the potential. So we are depending so much on donor funding for agriculture rather than using it to complement what we have. And that is the problem. So dependency is causing problem. So to Winfred, let's get your thoughts on this. We can move forward to the FOIA project.
Well, I think the points have been made. A lot of great points have been clearly articulated by Dr. George and Chief Henrys, and she was just keep it moving. I mean, like I said earlier, because when you ask the hard questions or you try to push back, you are saying, or at least they try to make it appear that you don't support the government or you don't support this, you don't, and all of that. But these are valid points that folks are making. We cannot continue to be doing these same things over and over and expect different results. I mean, it's just not clear. We all are trying to get away from the dependency syndrome that have engulfed us for generations. And this is an opportunity. I mean, I think a lot of people look at Trump and the Trump administration, but even the liberal democracies around, they were so beholden to these this whole foreign aid infrastructure that they've laid out there. They themselves now they will come in and saying to President Trump, and full disclosure, I'm no fan of President Trump, or I'm not a Republican, but there is something to say about why they got rid of USAID and redirected the funding, in a different way, and it seemed to be paying results. And a lot of people are coming around, embracing that. When people were crying that, oh my God, the sky is falling down, this is going to be it's going to collapse the whole world and blah blah blah. But that's not the case. You give people the opportunity. You teach them. You don't keep fishing for them, but you gave them an opportunity and a means of where they can fish for themselves. And create their own fish ponds and and stuff like that. Now you see the Swedish, that is a very, very liberal, ultra liberal democracy. They were following suit. They were taking they were taking a page from what the Republicans, and Trump and all of them, started. So it is clear that the way we did business yesteryears, you know, that system doesn't work anymore. It's a new day. The whole dependency, system, that stuff doesn't work anymore. So I think the folks have clearly, laid out and articulated those points. Mame.
Thank you. So we go to FOIA. I mean, I said it from the beginning. The president spoke today. He said a lot of good things. I mean, I was impressed with his interview. Spoke about football academy, something he feels very passionate about. So asking nothing. But then the discussion went down the line. I mean, the FOIA topical issue came up. President, where about the FOIA project? Bam. Discussion open.
So, FOIA project is intended to be a hub for peacemaking in the sub-region. Mada Bio can drive straight to FOIA. The President of Guinea can come to FOIA. Even if Cote d'Ivoire will be the only country that will fly. So the project there is an international project intended to prepare FOIA as a place where we resolve these crises and making them very private by the president, people meeting there, international meetings will take place there. It's not a Joseph Parker project. In fact, it started without me knowing, because probably they knew that I would have presented it. So it is not a private project. It's a peace building place. It's a place where the sub-region can meet. Heads of state can come there in privacy, meet to discuss regional problems. No matter what we do internationally, first and foremost, we must be able to take care of this sub-region, the Mano River Union. That's the project there. You go there, there's nothing there in my name.
So who's building it? So who's building that project? Is it funded by Liberia exclusively?
It's going to be funded under the Mano River. That means Guinea, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire will contribute to it.
But it's on already.
It's on. It's been funded.
Thank you. One thing remains constant. It's not a private project. After the discussion today, everywhere we saw, I say, oh, the presidency, that Mano River funding the project. From this video, he did not say Mano River funding the project. He did not say Mano River. He said Liberia will fund Liberia, Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Ivory Coast will contribute to the project. And did not say Mano River is funding the project. So 2 clarifications. The president did not say Mano River funding project. The president did not say, the president clarified that it is a government project and not a private project. But the spectacles around the project are just too much. I know what I do. I open the floor up to you. Let's start with you, Dr. Josh.
Before I start talking, I want my Arsenal shares so the president can know that we fair.
Because the president lobbying now for Arsenal to come play to Liberia.
Now, what the president do, I ask not fair to, so we all the same team.
Yes, you're on the same team, yeah. Okay.
We all the same team. Look, Mame, let me first of all congratulate the president for finally coming up. But let me ask, why are 2 people sitting down behind the president? That by the way. But let me congratulate the president first for coming up to open up to the Liberian people about this project that we have been talking about for months. It is the other things the president said that is worrying me. The project now, we're talking about it, but the other things the president said is worrying me. The president of the republic said on national radio, first he said he doesn't listen to national radio, so how he want us to listen to the thing he's talking about today? But the president worries me with him mentioning that he did not know about this project. That the project started with all his knowledge. A project that had been labeled first as a national security project started with all the knowledge of the president. Because if he knew in the initial stage, he would not have supported this project. So when they brought it up to him, why did he support it? If this president is telling us that if he knew for the beginning, he was going to say no, why when they brought it to him, he didn't say no? There's a problem here, Mami. I'm worried about Liberia and the president of the Republic of Liberia. The last time I said the president does not have the ability or capability to run the country, everybody was insulting me on Facebook. You people hearing from the president, he said today that this project, he had no knowledge about it. It started with all his knowledge when they brought it to him. He said he was said no, they brought it to him. He didn't say no. He said yes to a project that he was said no to. And that's a problem. It's a serious problem. President Boyka, the Liberian people voted for you to be president of our country. We didn't vote for anybody else besides you as our president. We voted for you. And hopefully you will start making decisions. Because if you come on national television to tell us that you have said no, and then you say yes, it's a problem. And that's my major concern, Mami. That's the problem that we have in our country. And hopefully President Boyka, after listening to his own interview, but he doesn't listen to ELBC, so I don't know how he will listen to his own interview. But after he listened to his interview, will understand that he has to become the president of the Republic of Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Phoebe. Phoebe, you listen to the president. I mean, project is not a private project. The project will be Guinea, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire will contribute to the project. But it's not sufficient. People are asking procurement process. I have what I have to say. I will say it later. People asking, even if the government funding, where the money coming from? It's not in the budget. I mean, where are you, Phoebe?
Yeah, so look, there are several things that can happen. Listen to the press release that was released before the president spoke today. He also said that there are local businesses that are also contributing, private individuals are contributing, international partners are contributing. So the sources and also government is contributing, and there will be contribution from the manner of our countries. So that also say that, you know, like the president said, the project started without his knowledge. It's possible because it happened, and it's something that can happen. We might not want to agree that it shouldn't happen, but those are things that can happen. And the initial source of funding probably might not have been the government of Liberia. So you can have people have a very good, brilliant idea and say, look, there's something that we can do. And they can put funding together and start it. Because once you start the project, it's difficult to reject it. Because people have already put probably $1 million in the ground. You will not tell them, say, take that $1 million and throw it away. So now they will give you reason why it should just continue. And at that point, you own an obligation now to say, okay, I knew earlier I would have rejected it. But now that you have already got the ball rolling, we will see how it goes. And since the funding, the burden is also now 100% on the government, we can also, and probably people giving convincing reasons why they should continue. And once you give a breakdown of the sources of funding and you see how it's going, then those are ways that you can have such project being endorsed by a president or anybody, even in the home, father, children, wife. There are some things that you want to do. You said, no, if we tell the old man before we start anything, it will not work. But let's start it. Then we'll bring it to him. Like my father, you know, my first time contesting in 2011, my father was in Lofa on our project. And, you know, I spread the word around, you know, because my family history, all my family members don't like politics. So they always shy away from that. So when I told him that I wanted to contest, his first reaction was not good. He didn't want it. But when he came back, when he came from town, from out of town, he saw.
My man, I have family Benin. You want to compare with governor?
I tried to point to that George point. You know, when he came to town and he saw the momentum in the yard, he bought the first set of t-shirts. This was something that he didn't want from the beginning. But the momentum compelled him to endorse it. So the president already would not say, I endorse the project. But when the president sees the momentum, look, the money coming from this place, the other person contributing, we've already started, we got the first $1 million in the ground. The president will not say, I'll do that $1 million and throw away. The only obligation at that point now to endorse is say, look, since the idea is good, the funding is not coming from my pocket 100%, the government has brought 100%, and you got donors that are already contributing, you have my blessing to move on. If that's the point I want to make, but all the other things around it, you can still ask the hard question about the procurement process that went on and all of those stuff. Those are all fair questions that the government needs to answer to the Liberian people. But I think at this point, it's possible that we can have projects that will start without the president's knowledge, especially when it is not coming from the budget directly. And if you have other partners that are contributing, so those are possible things. Because if some of the private money they decide to donate to a cause, you don't need the president approval for that. But you only tell the president to say, look, Mr. President, we'll raise $4 million on our own. We will need the Liberian government to put $2 million into it. But the first funding, we already have it. And the project is ongoing. So we can say the president must be in the know of everything that happens on the ground, especially if it's not 100% funded by government. If it's 100% funded by government, then I would say the president should know before he even start. But if it's not 100% funded by government, the president does not have to know before he start. Thank you.
Thank you, Phoebe. Fangalo.
Well, I'll conclude on this point. But let me say this. President Samuel Doe, when he was here, he started various projects in his hometown. If you've been to Zoidru, you see the road construction, they jump over Bon County, they jump over Nimba, they jump over all the counties along the way. They went straight to the president's home. The moment he hit Zoidru, you see construction of road everywhere. Matter of fact, the correctional palace did not exist before Doe became president. So for me, it's not an uncommon thing for presidents to undertake national projects in their hometown. Let's talk about President Tubman and Tubman. Look at all of what did he do? City streets all around Harper. The port of Harper. When was it built? When Tubman was president. So it's not an uncommon thing for presidents to direct, government projects towards where they come from. But who was the president who undertook major projects, perhaps with government money, or maybe he built something for himself only when he became president? George Manuel Weah. The condominiums started the moment, boom, my man became president, condominiums started flying everywhere. He built those condos immediately after he became president. So I would like to say this. The procurement process that we talk about, it makes the whole conversation fair. I stand for fairness. I think that the people around the president that are responsible for the PR work, they need some whipping. This thing I usually describe my byway. They came around, I'll start whipping some of them with it because they make the government look bad. In my mind, the intention is good, the project itself is good, but the way they explain to the Liberian people, it makes the government look no better than George Weah and a group of guys. I think that this is a fantastic project, especially the way the president spoke about it, that Liberia is taking the lead. Contributions will come in. So let's not make it look like, President Bouaka is the first Liberian president ever, to direct major government projects to whom I just talked about Tommy. The whole Harper area was built, and then Tober too. Go to Benton area and see the amount of development that he carried on out there. So it is not uncommon. I think that the project is good. It will serve the Liberian people well. It will provide jobs for people around Bon County and Lofa County. They are all Liberian people. It is good. I just think that the only issue that I have with it is the way of Sando and the guys, the way they do the explanation. They are not ahead of the game. And people who are always playing the role of detractors, who are always looking for a way to take away from the performance and the successes of the government, you give them tools to work with if you don't do proper explanation. I stand for accountability. I stand for transparency. Whether it's John Weah yesterday or Waka today or Ellen before, I will always demand transparency and accountability as it pertains to the way you use the people's money. I'm in favor of the project. I'm not in favor of the way the guys around the president are doing the explanation.
Guys are doing the explanation because the whole project, even the Minister of State did not even know about the project to explain. So how you expected?
That means he's not doing his job well, Mami. That means he's not doing his job well, Mami, because even if the president put his hand in his own pocket and took money from there, as anything that this president does, when you are the president for the people, even if your friends from United Arab Emirates, they gave you something and say, oh, you love Real Madrid, go build a Real Madrid stadium for your people. We are supposed to be a private project. You're still supposed to explain to the Liberian people why you are president, how you got a gift, what else may have been discussed in the room. I mean, that's just the way the law works. So I think that the Minister of Information coming out to say he don't know about something that the president is doing, it makes it seem to me like his satellite is not at work. We have battery here. What the battery go? I can give him some extra battery, let him put in his satellite and monitor the country well, let him pay attention to the performances of the president, and let him explain it to the Liberian people properly. This is required. The law requires that. But again, to conclude, I think that the project is good. I think Boaka should want to take more projects in Lofa. Let the people of Lofa who gave birth to Joseph Boaka, let them say, yes, you know, our son has returned. I got a whole song that says, Nimba, your son has come. The day I become representative, I'm talking about senator or president. The day I become representative in this country, whether here in Montserrat or in Nimba, when I arrive, my people will say, thank God we gave birth to this man. He's bringing job for us. Anything that I can do to lobby, to provide opportunity for my people, I will do it, and that's how it should be. Nancy Pelosi in America, go to California, go to her home. See how she lobbied government to, invest in her hometown. All of the people who are serving Congress in the United States. That's what lobbying power is. Bernie Sanders. They do all the time. I think the problem is with the explanation. They have to be able to understand the workings of the president. They have to be able to interpret the president's intentions to the Liberian people so that it does not seem like something wrong or illegal is going on.
Thank you. Thank you. We will go to, I think Brother Winfrey hasn't spoken on it. Darius just joined us. Darius will also give his comment. So Winfrey.
Yeah.
The project is not a private project, it's a government project. It will be funded. It's being funded by the government of Liberia. Contribution will come from Guinea, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, but the spectacles around it make it look confusing and creating more questions than answer.
So okay, so first thing, if we are trying to argue like some have poorly, made an attempt to say that okay, I mean, even though that's what the president said that okay. The president did not know about this project. He just found out about it. If that is to be believed, then how did he then go, or who then went to these other countries to ask them to contribute? Okay, if he didn't know anything about it, then, who then, was it Sarah Beslow, Yanti? I mean, who then? So look, folks. We celebrate good things when the government is doing good things. But this is a complete debacle. This is a complete failure. A lot of incompetent people around the president is failing him. And for President Boaka, who has served in government for as long as he has, say over 40 years, he should know that these kinds of project needs legislative oversight. We need to know, as taxpayers, we need to know how this project is being funded, all of the intricacy involved in this project. And he didn't say that. They're not telling us. They failed. Let's just call it out. We shouldn't be hair splitting and using semantics and all this sort of stuff. Because we're asking the hard questions doesn't mean that we don't want this government to succeed or we don't support President Boaka. No. But, this is a joke. I mean, this is a joke. And most of the folks who support Boyka, I support President Boyka, I support the government. I would like to see this government succeed. Everybody knows I support, a lot of things in the government, including the Liberia National Police, for example. But we have to call it as we see it. But many people, whether they're at home or in the diaspora, they don't want, they don't have the gumption to step up, to speak truth to power. And it's a shame. And we should do that. I mean, my brother Fangalo, I have to disagree with you. That's one of the reasons why, if you go back and read the justification given, and all the time we see it written on social media about why Tolbert was killed and why we changed the government to what we had was to avoid those kinds of things. How many private projects or personal projects did you see Ellen Johnson Sirleaf do? We try to get away from that. This is a new day. This is a new dispensation. So what we did was wrong, and that's why we removed him, and we put Boyka there so that he doesn't do that. So I mean, the coincidence, or some would like us to believe that it was some sort of coincidence that this project was placed in FOIA. It's a joke. It's not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence. And yes, there is a difference between lobbying to get support as a lawmaker in your area. I mean, all of the folks do it. I represented the district I represented. I brought in the small business incubation center here. We all do that. When you president and even the small business center that I brought into my district, I call a town hall meeting. We discussed the merits of it. The community came to us and said, we need a business incubation center. That informed our decision to spend $7.5 million to build it there. It was not done in secrecy. It was done in sunshine. So that's part of what we're calling on this administration to do.
Thank you, Winfred. Darius, you were one of the person who said the president said the project. You muted Darius. You were one of the person who wrote, and said the president said the project at Mano River will fund the project. But if you listen to the video, the president didn't say so. The president said they will contribute. Countries, Ivory Coast, Guinea, Sierra Leone will contribute to the project. He did not say Mano River is funding the project. But tell us your view.
Yeah. So thank you, Mame. And let me say hi to Phoebe, Fangalo, Emmanuel, and Rocio.
Now you call everybody first name. You can't call my last name. My name Winfred. You call Emmanuel.
Yeah. So it's good to be on set tonight. We have been engaged recent time, but it's good to be here. So on the issue about the FOIA project, first let's establish the patterns of communication, contradictions, and misinformation. At first, the press secretary to the president of the Republic of Liberia came publicly to the Liberian people and said the FOIA project is a presidential project. Presidential project. Fast forward, the Ministry of Information, the government's information arm, they spoke people of the government. The Information Ministry came out. The Deputy Information Minister came out to the Liberian people and said the FOIA project is a Mano River Union project. Few weeks after, he came back to the Liberian people, Daniel Sano, and said he misspoke. He retracted his statement that he will not comment on the project. It is not a Mano River Union project. When the current Minister of State went for confirmation, he was asked, what is your understanding, your knowledge about the Foya project? He said on an oath that he has no knowledge, zero knowledge of the Foya project. Before being nominated as a Minister of State, he was deputy or assistant minister for project or technical survey or what have you.
He was deputy minister.
Yes. It means from deputy minister to being nominated, he has zero knowledge in the mansion about the Foya project. We pass the Minister of State. The Public Works Minister went on Sky FM, Tima Dratek. When asked, he said the Ministry of Public Works has zero knowledge, don't know where the funding is coming from, do not know about the project, that the journalist should go and engage the executive mansion. The Ministry of Public Works should be in the position giving the diagram, the design, the technical design of that project. But the Ministry of Public Works said, no, we have zero idea. We don't know about this project. It has security features. That was the exact words of the Public Works Minister of the Republic of Liberia, referring all the journalists to go to the executive mansion for inquiry. We left that. A week ago, the Ministry of Information, having Daniel Sano retracted his statement and said he misspoke, the Ministry of Information issued an official press release stating that the Foya project, stating that the Foya project is a Mano River Union project for peacekeeping activities and discussion, that the funding of the project is being financed by the combination of contribution from national, regional, global entities, as well as private individuals and businesses. Underscore that. Regional, national, private individuals, and businesses. That was the contribution that summed up to 6.1 million for the Foya project. Interestingly, today, the President of the Republic of Liberia came public to the Liberian people and said the project in Foya was not initially at his knowledge. He did not know about the project. For God's sake, if a Mano River Union project is being constructed in Liberia with fundings from national, regional.
I'm sorry, let me hold you there. Mama, do you have any clip that cites or quotes what he just said?
So I will come to him. I've not seen anything that says a Mano River
Union. I know he said that it was built for Mano River use. I don't know if he said Mano River.
No, I didn't say you. I said it's a Mano River Union project, and Liberia is part of the Mano River Union.
Oh, I thought you said funded project. Okay.
No, I said the press release from the Ministry of Information as an official government press release states that the fundings of the project is a combination of national, regional, and private individuals and businesses. That is the official release. released just a week ago. Today, the president came to the Liberian people and told us initially from the beginning of this project, he was not made aware. How can Liberia be hosting, constructing such a regional minor reward project and the president of the Republic of Liberia is not aware from the beginning? Who was doing that unknowing to the president? And the president said, I had been that he was going to be informed from the beginning, before the construction of the project. He was going to resist that. You know what that means? Meaning the president does not support that. But fast forward, the president also told us today that Guinea, Ivory Coast, and the Minor Railroad Union countries will be funding the project.
No, they will be contributing. That use your exact word.
Will, I say will. I underscoring will. As a matter of fact.
Yeah, but Mame, what's the difference between contributing and funding?
No, excuse me. So
you will be contributing. No, I will accept that.
The difference.
Minor Railroad Union countries.
Let me answer Wilfred. The difference that if you say that Guinea, Sierra Leone funding the project is like the funding is coming from the day they want underwriting the cost.
No, I'm saying speech. I said the president said Guinea, Ivory Coast, and Minor Union country, MRU countries will be contributing or funding the project, meaning Liberia is not exempted. Liberia is not exempted because we're part of the MRU. But the point is, he said will be. As a matter of fact, the project is almost 70 to 85 to 90% completed already.
How you I don't know?
Because we're seeing the videos and the photo. All right. So if the project has reached that level, it means the project has already been financed. So if the president is using will, it means the funding that have reached the project to that level has come from the government of Liberia. Then the question comes about what is in the budget for the 6.1 million, since it's not 10 million according to the government. Where is the 6.1 million coming from? If you check on a million,
it's okay, Fangalo. Dara, please learn. Dara, I give you time because you have not been on the show.
So just to conclude, the contradiction from the press secretary to Daniel Sando, to the current Minister of State, to the Public Works Minister, and the President of the Republic of Liberia is glaring to conclude that it is a made-up story. Because of the public pressure, this government has reversed to say it is not the president's private facility, but it is MRU funded project. When I say MRU funded project, Liberia is part. So we are concerned with what is the contribution of Liberia that is not budgeted.
Darius, question to you. If public pressure, because that's where you landed, the public pressure made the president to turn the project back to government. If public pressure can make the president to turn the project from a private project to a government, why public pressure did not make sure we are turning over here for the full condominium to government? Because there was public pressure on it too.
Because it is written and there are documentation that those condominiums were propaganda. They are currently not the personal properties of the president. There are documents. If those condominiums are owned by the president and the taxpayer money, we expect the government, the LACC,
No. The question I'm asking you is,
but so there are clear documents.
Who own the condominiums?
But the records are there. It's a joint venture. According to what we have said.
Joint venture who?
As a president of the Republic of Liberia and former president, he has business rights. He can involve into businesses.
So
Joseph Boakai have a foundation. The president of Liberia have a foundation. The president is running businesses across the country through his sons, through his family, including himself.
So we are who do the joint venture for the country?
The question. The records are there.
Yeah, tell the record.
to international partners. Do you think that all the condominiums that you talk about is owned, they are owned by President Weah? Why LCC, GACC? Why haven't you go after them? As a recovery.
It's okay, Darius. Let me give my opinion on this thing. I think we fast getting to the close of the show. For me, I have a very strong opinion based on the information I have. I mean, I could be wrong. I believe the project was actually a private project. And like the president said, he did not know about it. And the problem when it was brought to his attention, he said, no, I cannot own a private project of this nature. Therefore, let's change it to the government project. And because I'm being seen as an heir in the land, let's make it a peace center for minority. That's my opinion. I really, really believe it was a private project, and when it got to the president's attention, he said, no, let's shift it to a public. And that's why I was asking you, Darius, that if public pressure could move President Baka to leave from private, why did not move Joe Weah from private to public? One thing remains constant on this project is, it is a project for the government of Liberia. The second issue I have with the project is, and this is a fundamental issue, when the government took over, they said our priority as a government that we need to address to solve the problem in the country. They describe it to be arrest, agriculture, rule of law, rules, education, sanitation, and tourism. I'm concerned how spending $6 million in FOIA on a project for foreign, in the future for foreign leaders to be coming to, became a priority, and not spending that $6 million to upgrade immediately the University of Liberia and all the MCSS schools, thereby addressing your priority in education. I mean, like for me, I put all the corruption on one side. I'm not like dismissing concern about corruption. I'm not dismissing concern about procurement. I'm saying hold all the factor constant. Decision making, priority, banning constraint. How can we reach a decision that that project is a priority over the University of Liberia being upgraded? How that project is a priority against the MCSS schools being upgraded? How that project is a priority against $6 million, against health facilities being upgraded? So I'm pushing the point of decision making on priority. And you can see the same kind of decision making across other areas. Check to the Ministry of Finance. In less than 1 year, spend money and make it look nice. It's fine. I don't oppose it because it was dilapidated. It's supposed to make it look fun. Ministry of Lands and Mines. In less than 9 months, make it look nice. Ministerial complex, the same thing. Internal affairs, the same thing, look nice. I do not oppose that. I supported those decisions. But how come you making those decisions? But right next to the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Ministry of Lands is the University of Liberia. And it is dilapidated. Nobody see that. MCSS schools. So corruption aside, who gave misinformation, I'm really holding this one on decision making, priority. How come it became a priority over the arrest? It became a priority.
It's simple.
Over agriculture. It became a priority over road. It became a priority over education. It became a priority over sanitation. It became a priority over tourism at this point in time.
One word, Mame, sycophancy. somebody was just trying to impress the president.
And when he got to know, he said no. So I agree with that narrative that yes, pressure made the president, or when he got to realize that this thing would be a public condemnation on me, I will not go for it. I agree with you on that. I agree with that opinion. The only point I was pushing you on, Darrell, with this similar public pressure that we are, why you didn't think
beside pressure, everybody can understand that is not who President Boubacar is. Knowing from his residency, the life he lived. And he said that today. So, yeah, pressure came from the opposition, the public, but he's just the kind of person that will not accept stolen money, off-budget spending, to go in such a project to claim it for his retirement.
Thank you. So, gentlemen, for me, you're putting your hand up. Let's wrap up on this. I think getting to the closing hour of the show. I saw your hands up, Fubi. I will check on the time, but you can go ahead.
Yeah, no, there are several points. I think Darrell was making. I know he was trying to spin the same old thing that we've been talking ever since. Look, all of those guys, all of the points he made. Daniel Sanos said other money. Colonel Cross said the public works minister said this. All of those points the guys made at different points. None of those are important and more important than the press release and the confirmation by the president today. And to some extent, those statements also didn't contradict each other. Probably Daniel Sanos spoke first, and he decided later on to say he misspoke. But at the end of the day, it still boils down to the same Mana River project.
There are private individuals and businesses that contradict the president.
Wait, I'm coming. I mean, it still boils down to the project being a project intended for use for Mana River Union. That's the major point. And the Minister of State saying he doesn't know, he had a right to say he doesn't know. The Public Works Minister said it's got security implication, the executive management will speak. So there was a certain thing that certain people are supposed to say. So when you want force them to say it, they will give you answer. So it was not a contradiction. The only issue, the issue of the different contributions, like I said earlier, once you have private individuals contributing to a project, necessarily, it's not compulsory that the president will know that he must know before he starts, because the source of funding is not from his pocket, it's not from the account that he manages. If the money was coming from the government as an initial start, then 100% the president must be in the know before he commences. But if the money came from private individuals to kick it up, the president does not need to know before it starts. But getting to know now, he can say, look, I don't need any retirement home or such in magnitude. Send it, give it to the Liberian government. The Liberian government can also contribute towards it. Then we can have everybody chipping in to make sure that we all own it. Initially, private individual, as a president, you will have goodwill. A lot of the money they said we are using to build all the private property, they didn't come from the bank account of Liberia. It came from private individuals or private businesses that went and fell from the government. But he took it as his own. And, he shouldn't have taken it because the court of conduct said don't take more than $250. Anything above $250, you must disclose it. So giving President Boubacar a $6 million project, he said, no, I can't take it. So do not the Liberian government, but let it go on. The Liberian government will take ownership of it, but will contribute also so it doesn't look like it's just a goodwill. Whoever contributing from different angles will also encourage our Mana River Union brothers and sisters, countries to also contribute. That's fair. And I think that's the honesty. You just admitted at least you have always been against the president, but today at least you said the president nature he will not take public money for a personal use. And that's a good thing.
Let's try to wrap up. Let's try to wrap up in the next. Let's try to wrap up. No, I come in. You close. We're coming to go to the closing now. For me on this project, the fundamental thing is CDC is trying to show that Bwaka also is owning private project, private home. That's all the mission here. I come in, brother, your time will come. That's the mission. I say, Joe, we have a private home. You say you be private home. Unfortunately for them, it failed because the project you can do all the criticism around, we'll do all the different things around, which are legitimate concerns: procurement, decision making, priority, contradiction. We can do all. By the end of the day, we'll settle down to one thing: this is the government of Liberia project. When it's being dedicated, the D it will be given to GSA. So, on the contrary, Clark we are saying, Joe, we are when all he used to ask for money for Clark Foundation. That all say it, and I mean, in who need the project is Clark Foundation. Joe, we are when all he got money. In who the condominium is he and his unknown joint venture, private project. So that mission to establish this similarity between Joe Weah and Joseph Boakai on property, it feel on the one. I said new one, but they want the public property is for the government of Liberia. If for the sake condominium, a private property. Clark Foundation, a private property. That one established. All the other criticism, we can accept it, we can go around, but the property is a public property for the government of Liberia. So that mission to establish similarity, it failed. Fubi, let's conclude. I mean, give your closing. Anything you say now, just close, and then we'll call it a day.
Yeah, so like we started on the issue of the local, I think there should be more, questioning than just leaving it at whatever stuff that was done with the LHCC, because you cannot have a project, a contract being amended right after they announce the runoff result and immediately pay additional 50% to the contractor. And there was no hurry, there was no rush to complete that project. That advance that was given, they didn't complete the project the next day. So in my mind, it took like 2 years today to be dedicated today. So 2 years. So you cannot say it was any hurry stuff that they needed to do on an emergency. So there should be a real look into that process. Because that elephant meat saga should end at some point. And we hope the government can look at it and stay go in and look critically and see how they can find some way to manage this kind of corruption and bad practices in government. And we just deal with the issue of the FOIA stuff. Like I said, the good thing is for Liberian people. So President Boakai will leave office. The project still remains a Liberian project, and whatever in Lofa County will not be underdeveloped forever. So there will be the roads condition will improve. The issue of domestic airlines will also improve, and so you can fly from different points to land in Lofa and drive to the site. And if Liberia projecting herself now to be the father or mother of Africa, the first independent country like we did before, and help most of the other countries, inspire them to gain independence. Today we are way behind. We can still come back and become a hope for Africa and encourage our sister countries. You saw the issue on the saga that took place with Yahya Jammeh. At the time, Madam Sali was the chair of ECOWAS. You saw how she managed it. At the end of the day, Jammeh had to pack a bag and leave. And we had a democratic government sitting in. That's the kind of, force we want to see from our country, where you mediating. When Todmon, those days when Todmon walked into any hall, there was standing ovation for him, because they look at Liberia at that time with so much respect, and so we need to regain that. And it's good that at least we are rebranding the image of the government in the country. And we see people now are trying to gain some respect. We're back on the Security Council, even though for it's a non-permanent seat, rotational, but at least that image building is good. On the issue of the aid, they will always welcome free money, as long as it's not coming from our own pocket. It's good to collect free money. It's good to collect free money, but we should also move away from the aid mindset. We got too many resources. We need to see how we can drive our attention in making use out of this money and our resources to support and build our own country with our own minds. We have everything that it takes to make Liberia a better place. Talk about getting Liberia to an industrial nation. We thwarted that with the coup, and we have not gotten back on track. The aerospace sector is still there. It's a big hope. We still got opportunity to build factories. We still got a lot of stuff to do. The educational sector, we cannot keep putting our parts in people's homes and expect to eat on time. We must put it in our own kitchen, have our own keys, have our own pantry keys that we can walk in anytime, open and cook and close it at a time. But Liberia can be a better place. We all need to keep driving it. And thanks to everybody for the job. At least we all criticize, we disagree at different points. But at the end of the day, we all driving the interest of Liberia. Let's keep pushing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Phoebe. Let's go to Fangalo. Fangalo, let's try to be brief. Let's summarize so that.
Yeah, I'll be very quick. Again, beginning with the issue of aid, like I said earlier, I don't see any problem with Liberia receiving aid from partners. They are very, there are countries that are very capable, that are very powerful in Europe and other parts of Africa who receive aid from their foreign partners. For me, it is not about whether we receive aid. Receiving aid, don't stop you from developing your own nation or developing your people's capacity or to use your local soil or your local resources to be able to produce something. It is the mindset. It is about corruption. It is about lack of patriotism, for which we use money for the wrong reason, for which we spend most of our money paying lawmakers so much and ministers and directors of public corporations. We spend so much. If you look at Article 8, I believe 7 or 8 of the Liberian Constitution, it says that above all else, the mass education of the Liberian people shall be the primary objective of the Liberian government. There's another article, I believe 6, that talks about the well-being. Liberian people, the government has an obligation to do for us what we cannot do for ourselves. For me, now and always, I will always speak factually, I will always speak objectively in my support of this government. Quickly here on the LOFA project. Like I said, President Bouaka, for those who are not listening, is not the first president under whose regime government has started project in that president's home. We talk about Tubman, we talk about Tobo. It was only George Weah project that we thought were undertaken by government money. He owned it, he sat on it, he said, this thing is mine. Even though he played football all these years, for almost 20 some more years, we thought he had so much money, he could not build those projects for himself. I feel like in this moment, there is still time and opportunity for us to find out how he constructed those condos. And I just want to say, Darrell, thank you for being a fair man. In your conclusion, you said that the president is not the kind of man who would take, what belongs to the people. That speaks to the fact that President Bouaka is not a corrupt man. That man is not a corrupt man. All the years that he has worked in government, even after his tenure as vice president, he sat to his place there, he managed his own business. Bouaka is not a corrupt man. He's a very good man who means very well for this country. If it is, public pressure that made him to turn it over to the public, oh, well, let's have it, let's appreciate it, let's cherish it. Foya, like Phoebe said, will not always be underdeveloped. There will come a time, hopefully very soon, the road network will connect through Foya and other parts of the country where we can leave from Novia and be to Foya in just a couple hours. So I think that the project is a good thing. It was just a bad public relations, campaign. The people who work for the government need to understand that at all times the government owes explanation to the Liberian people. It's not when you want to, when you feel like the explanation is good and easy, then you go and give it. No. The law requires that while you are in office, how you earn money, how you spend it, everything you do, you have to update the Liberian people. So for us who have come here to support the working of this government and who go to other places in the community to support the government, when they communicate well, it makes our job easy. And I encourage Sandro and the team to do better communication, especially when it comes to government spending, because it helps to develop public trust in the government.
Thank you. Brother Winfred.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks to all of our listeners and viewers out there. And Lorena, thanks to you too for holding down the fort I really appreciate it. I'll use my few minutes here in closing to say, look, hey, I think we all agree that the president, President Joseph Boakai, is incorruptible, but that doesn't mean the people around him who are advising him, who are talking to him, and working for him. I don't know if we can say the same thing about them. Okay, so and so at the end of the day, the buck stops with the president. It stops at the doorstep of the president. And again, I would just like to remind people, one of the justification that was given, for removing Tolbert and killing all of the people they killed was because of some of these excesses. And we need to get away from that. It's the same part of the same reason was used to kill President Doe as well. We need to get away from that, So we can't be coming here and say, well, it was done this time, so we're doing it this time. I mean, we need to get away from that. Clearly, this project in Foya was a fiasco. Complete, and let's just call it that. It's a fiasco. The people around the president did not serve him right, and I think Mame made a really good point. I think a lot of folks around made a lot of good point, but we have to call it out the way we see it. I mean, it was clearly a fiasco, and they are. One person is saying this, the other person is saying that. I mean, this is a public project. The public needs to know, and they need to come clean and come up and let us know where they're getting the money from to fund this. No one is accusing the president of being corrupt, but clearly there was some misinformation passed out there by some of these folks. It may have been intentional. But this information was passed out, and it's not helpful. So finally, I'd like to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of the folks who are out there watching and listening to us on the radio. If you're in Totota, Bon County, I'd like to say Merry Christmas to you. If you are in Tiempo, River G County, I'd like to say Merry Christmas to you. And my friend and brother hometown, Bopolu City, Bapolu County. If you are watching and listening to us, we also like to say Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New Year. Thank you all for joining us, and we hopefully will see you tomorrow, God's willing.
My name is Magdalena Cooper. I'm the senior political advisor.
Oh, sorry. Let's go. That's
leave a girl.
My name is Magdalena Cooper.
Turning on my hand. I mean, I'll try to pull out something. But let's go ahead, Dr. Josh.
Thank you, Mame, for anchoring the show. Thank you, Chief Henrys. Thank you, Babyface. Thank you, Councilor Russell, Darius, and Lorena for holding the studio down. And to our viewers who have been listening to us for over 3 hours, thank you so much for being part of this program tonight. Look, there are a few things we discussed this evening. It is a great disservice to the Liberian people for our leaders to consistently and continuously be begging for money all around the place. Our Minister of Finance was Foreign Minister. His policy when he was Foreign Minister was development economic. That's the policy he pushed. He was Finance Minister, and then he left to be a country director. Through all that process, I strongly believe our Finance Minister have learned a lot around the world to help us improve our country. All this excitement every time when we sign these Becker contracts, we should stop. No country developed from aid. No successful person can be a Becker. The word sovereignty in international relations means that you are free from the apron strings of other people. We cannot be looking for money for good governance. When we have a governance commission that have been there since 2005, we can't be looking for money to reform our economy. Which economy we're reforming now? What thing new we're going to do about it? We should start backing. It is not helping our country. We have brilliant Liberians who can look from within and help us to build our country. It's a disservice, all this backing we do every year. Look, when did the president get to know about this project in Foya? Was it when his press secretary spoke on it? Or was it when his deputy minister of information spoke about it? Or his own friend, the current minister of state, have been with the president for many, many years, deny it? When did the president get to know about this project in Foya? Mr. President, please take control of this country. Because from your interview, you showed that you are not in total control of the Republic of Liberia. People cannot go to your backyard. Mr. President, we are getting to know, it's a lurch, that it is a relative of yours who that contract was given to. So when did you get to know when that contract, 6.1 million, as you're claiming now, as your people, as it being claimed by the government, but it was also 10 million a year from. So let us get a bank slip, the slip, so we can know whether that 10 million or 6.1. But when did you get to know when your relative was given that contract? Did you not hear about it? Did he not report to you? So you want us to believe, and want to believe you, Mr. President, but you want us to believe that you didn't know nothing about this project, about this money being passing through. I agree, people say on the land that you're not corrupt, but Mr. President, the corruption that around you is difficult for some of us to believe that you're not corrupt. Because it's just all around you. Just passing left and right all around the place. And we see you do plenty about it. Because again, it's a relative of yours that is a lurch to have this contract for this project. So, Mr. President, please take control. Please take control of our country. Liberian people, for 20 years, we'll be on this road for democracy. Other countries who have been on this road with us 20 years, they have passed us. Rwanda, they have passed us. It is now time for us to look for a serious leader that is willing to build our economy from within so that we can start backing around that place. And that's why I'm introducing you to Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. Have a wonderful evening. I'm not going to say Happy New Year yet because I'm going to see you again. But have a wonderful evening and look forward to this conversation tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Before Tara, before you can, let me just make this announcement. There is the, in Liberia, most of the time people talk about physical fitness, mental relaxation. They always think about going to the gym, which is good. But there's a new momentum on the block, and it is the Flow Studio. It's basically doing what they call yoga. So this one doesn't take too much of pain from your body, but it helps you relax mentally. It helps the body to shine. It helps the muscles to relax. I mean, it's a body and soul relaxation therapy. You take the kids there. If for elderly, if for young people who are working, middle-aged people after work, you just go to the Flow Studio. It's located on, let me just be specific with the address. Tara, you can see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Good, good. So the Flow Studio is located on 11th Street, Chisholm Avenue. And the thing is, the cost is just $15. For over a period of time, you'll be able to go there, you relax. You get satisfied trainer, they will train you on how to do yoga. You can take the kids there, they will learn how to do yoga. It's good for their mind, their body, and their soul. When you get there, just tell Masa, say, Amola on sponsor me here to come and start the process of yoga. After work, you don't have to go to the gym, just go to the Flow Studio in their own street. Thank you.
Mula, is it $15 an hour, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. or is it $15 a month or per session? I mean, what is the $15 for?
So the $15 is for session. The $15 is for session.
And how long is a session? Is it 1 hour? Because I see on the flyer it says 11 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Correct.
So every hour you're there for a Mommy and Me Flow yoga session is $15.
To get a trainer, yeah, $15.
Okay.
But
Thank
if you went there and you subscribe for the period of time, maybe you want to do a whole month, you want to be a member of the club, of the yoga club, it wouldn't cost you. This is just a special event for the moms and the kids.
Okay. Oh, yeah, this is just a special event.
Yeah, this is just a special event on tomorrow for the mothers and the kids. Just a special event. So like two persons going in yoga, the mother will be going, the kids will be going. Both of them will have a trainer, both of them will have a session.
But if you want to set up a long-term agreement,
exactly. So almost like a gym
registration.
Different. If you want to do like a gym registration every day after work, you go do your yoga, it wouldn't be $15 per hour. This is a special event for the mothers and the children.
Okay, and then if you mention Spoon, do you get a discount, or do they have to mention Ambula to get the discount?
No, I say if you went there, just say Ambula on Spoon asked me to come here.
What if they say Winfred on Spoon asked me to come? Do they get a discount too? That's what I'm asking.
Let Winfred make the announcement. I just made the announcement, so made the announcement.
No discount.
No, let Winfred make an announcement, so Winfred and her friends can go there.
No promo code.
Okay, man, but I just wanted to share that. I mean, it's a good session. You can go there, take the kids there, do yoga instead of gym. I mean, it's better for the mind, soul, and body. So, Darius, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So, thank you, Mame, and all of the panelists. It was a great show. But I will conclude with this.
2 minutes, Dara. Please conclude in 2 minutes so the show can end.
Yes, President Bouazizi and the Unity Party came to power on the mattress of rescue. A week and few days from now, we'll be entering the 10th year of the rescue government. 2024, 2025, 2026 budget, the national budget, when you combine that, you're talking about almost 3 billion. Almost 3 billion. This government will be operating in. What is there to show to the Liberian people in the first 2 years as we go to the 3rd year? Education. What are the new schools? How many volunteer teachers are on the payroll? The CS is saying different thing. The MCS is saying different thing. The Senate has to intervene. Health. What are the new hospitals? How our hospitals are being equipped? The past government increased doctors' salary from 700 to 2,000. What intervention have you made in the health sectors? We'll be looking at agriculture. You increase agriculture budget in 2005. 2026, you decrease it. But what are the agricultural activities across the country? We will be looking at all of that in 3 years of this government. What I saw the president do today is the fact that I consider it to be a pre-SONA. Everything President Bouazizi said today will be written in his SONA. Same thing, repetitional. We will fix the country, we will develop the country, but nothing to show, no tangible, no new role have been dedicated, completed, no new infrastructure in terms of schools, health facilities, nothing. But we are in $3 billion budget. We are still begging for international support. What did you come to rescue? Who have you rescued? That is the $1 million question. So yes, The FOIA project, to conclude, is alarming. And the president today contradicted all of his ministers, directors, and government officials, because the president said the project will be funded by MRU country, which include Liberia. But the press release of the Ministry of Information says private individuals and businesses will be have contributed, and the cost is 6.1 million. That is a huge contradiction. We want to know who are those private individuals and businesses that have contributed to the 6.1 million. When the president of Liberia said the project will be squarely funded by MRU, which include Liberia, a Monroe Rural Union country. That is a fundamental contradiction. It exposed the government today, and we all agree on the show that that project initially was meant to please President Bouakai. But due to public pressure, and I agree with you also, the nature of the president, they have to turn it around. This is why you see the MRU is not speaking on that project, because it is not to the knowledge of the Bali. Guinea, Africa, Sierra Leone would not be contributing. That money is off budget spending. That money is a stolen money that needs to be accounted for. You will not complete the bidding before MRU countries pay. So how the bidding got constructed? It means that money came from somewhere. And I agree with you, Mame. You leave you leave education, you leave health, you leave agriculture, you leave sanitation, and you go and spend 6.1 million. If you disagree with the 10 million, 6.1 million on the project for peacekeeping. Peacekeeping for what? Which one of the African countries, the Monroe Rural Union country, will go to FOIA for peacekeeping talk? Some people went to Accra, FOIA. So it's good that the president and the government have diverted that private property to government use, but still they have to account for the money. The Liberian people taxpayer money, the off-budget spending. 2024 consolidated audit of GSC, there is 150 million Minister Gaffan cannot account for. Go to the GSC 2024 audit of the consolidated account. Now we're talking about 2025. The current revenue generation, this government is in a shortfall because of budget spending. SOEs are not contributing. So we hope and pray for the 2025 audit of the consolidated account and revenue performance, because LRA have not published the second, third quarter report of the revenue performance. Go on their website. It's intentional. The first quarter was a 22 million budget shortfall. The second quarter have not been published. The third quarter revenue performance have not been published. It's intentional because of the huge corruption of budget spending and the way the resources are being abused. Thank you.
Thank you, Darius. Conor Remy Gray, I mean, the show is over when you came, but just say your word and then we can allow Lorena to go. I mean, in 1 minute, we actually plan to close by now.
Oh, okay, man. Thanks, man. It's been a while since I was here. I'm glad that the show doesn't look acrimonious today, like too many fights. And some of us who did peace studies, sometimes when we see that much force, we just stay away because it's unproductive. But for yoga, you only need 15 or 20 minutes to reflect. It's a very good exercise. It washes the mind and it puts you in a better thinking mode. So you don't need an hour. You need only a brief moment of reflection, and that will put you in a better mood. I think this government made significant progress this year. People like to look at the ugly side of things because that's the only way people can listen to us. But lots of good things going on. I see people are flooding into Liberia because there's confidence in the system. The president has given us his word about FOIA. a region can only open up when you allow people to go there. Okay, take for instance, Dubai was a desert until people started reflecting that Dubai would be the city that will attract people. And so if you just depend on Monrovia alone, like, bro, we'll never open up. Well, we are almost 200 years old, 178 maybe. What are we waiting for? All the regions need to open up. And I applaud this president for even making the effort to open some of those remote areas of our country. That's the only way Liberia will flourish. The president has given his word that is a regional hub for security, peace building. If anybody wants to twist the president's word and bring their own imagination, that's the only way we'll not make progress. But I applaud the president. If in the future that turns out to be not true, then you can take the president at a different level. But right now, the man is a man of his word. He has said it. People will not like it. Some folks will ask, why FOIA? My question, why not FOIA? I like the region. And let's not take national security out of our politics. Whether or not everything is pushed under national security, that's how you build a country. When less people know, there is progress. When too many people know, there are too many ideas that fluctuate, and at the end of the day, you do nothing. If this president, I say, I want to build a hub for Mano River, trust me, you're not going to get an answer. Everybody will come up with their own solution. So when they say national security is part of democracy, you accept it or you don't accept it. If you want national security, as somebody talk about Rwanda, by virtue, by extension, could not be a democracy, because we know exactly there's progress there, but it's led by an authoritarian, totalitarian. That's not what Liberia is. Amami, it was a good day. Hopefully we'll be here tomorrow, right? I'll try to be on. Thank you, brother.
Thank you all, gentlemen, for coming. Thank you, Lorena, for holding on. We appreciate you, all the viewers and listeners. Tomorrow will be another edition. Unfortunately, I will not be on tomorrow, but I know the other guys will find time to join and have a discussion. Good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. So we just want to say so many thanks to you for listening to the program, Spawn Talk. And it is still, today is the 20th day of December. Yeah, that means we have 5 more days to Christmas. So let me say so many thanks to you for your listening role. You are highly appreciated. We love you. We thank you for sharing, for commenting, for calling, for being a part of the discussion in your own way, for relaying the show on your different platforms, for inviting most of your friends, and you listen to everything that you needed to hear from the president's speech, bits and pieces. It was broken down for you to understand as the messages were presented, analyzed by the panelists. The Spawn Talk returns tonight at 8 p.m. You want to know. And so from my end, I will always say, hey, always put God first in whatever you do. Try to stay safe and have a wonderful and pleasant weekend. Good night. You provide